Okay, we're a little late, but that's all right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake stream. We are hanging and banging and chilling and grilling. I don't even know what I'm saying. So what's going on, Cody? Cody, if you're still here, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Gonna grind on the game until your live starts. Nice. I hope you grinded something out. Good stuff. What's up, Jen? How's it going? Probably can't stay late because dinner is late tonight, but if this lasts a while, I would come back. We're going till probably like 11 or something along those lines. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, Ethan, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Ethan. Depression kicked my ass today, so really looking forward to this. Well, Ethan, I hope I can give you something entertaining and something good that's better than that. I'm so sorry, man. Much love to you. Villain killing Dylan. I love that. What's going on? What's up? Michael's in the chat, and Michael said his first word today, everybody. Look at that. Hi. Ha ha. Wow, some good stuff there. Extron Gaming, what's going on? What's up? Like Zoink Scoob. Oh. I can't do Shaggy. I can do like the stoner voice really well, and that's about it. What's up? Welcome. What's up? Danilo, I am dying because of these school objects. What? I'm so sorry. If you got a lot of school stuff going on, I'm so sorry. That sucks. This is the time of year for all that. The time of year for getting all that done, which is why I believe my views are going like this. But that's okay. You know, we're in a couple of weeks, we'll all be good. Everyone will be happy because y'all will be out of school, and we'll be watching some more content on YouTube. Things are gonna be great. What's up, Tori? How's it going? What's up, Killjoys? What if I started saying that at the beginning of all my videos? How cringy would that be? That would suck. Let's talk the 2 horror movies I'm looking most forward, says John Smith. Yes, absolutely. We're going to talk about them all in a second. I'm just going to keep saying hello to everybody, though, real quick. I'm sure all 25 of you want to hear that over and over again. What's up, hater Albazani? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What is going on? What's up? Adam Welser is here. What's up, Jake? My new movie arrived today, Massacre in Dinosaur Valley. That sounds fucking awesome. I don't know even what that is, but that sounds freaking amazing. Let's go. Hopefully Ends has a great ending. It better. I mean, it's kind of in the title right there. If it doesn't, I'll be kind of upset. Ends with a good ending. That's what you promised me this. You didn't get that. You didn't give me a good ending. If it like why put that in the title? You know what I mean? Apparently we're getting more Halloween though, according to Mr. Jason Blum. I'll have to do a video on that this week. I unfortunately for my channel members and Patreon supporters, I do want to say this. I have been incredibly busy all day getting my setup back to normal because during our 14-hour shoot, I had to bring like all of this. Like I got some lights here, I got a camera stand and a camera here. Had to bring that all over. So that's why there was no videos today. But tomorrow there will be a lot of videos. So no worries on that. We'll get that going. M. Cox is here. Hello. What's your favorite berry smoothie? My favorite berry smoothie is just like, I love blueberry smoothies. Is that weird? Like, I fuck with some blueberry smoothies, man. There's this place around here. Like, we got a smoothie place around here called Pulp. Oh, they make a good blueberry smoothie. Some good stuff there. It's an Italian cannibal jungle horror movie. Well, I do like some of those. I'll tell you what, Green Inferno fucking slaps. Oh! What the fuck? Killjoy Jake Jr. is here, my son. Dad, I did something bad when you went to bed on Craven's stream. I heard about that, and I'm going to need you to go to your room and give yourself 15 lashes. No, I kid, of course. I kid. Don't do that. Only kidding. So ready to do some surfing this summer. Hell yeah, Tori. You surf? It's fucking awesome. I wish I could surf. That's badass. That is some badass stuff. And we have an answer as to what game Cody was grinding out. Fucking Fortnite. Let's go. Get them V-Bucks. Get them kills. Build some shit. Or maybe you're playing the no build mode. I still haven't played that yet, but I hear it's pretty sick. So pretty good stuff. Mitchell White is asking about Chucky Season 2. So we'll talk about that a little bit first. So the Season 2 has been confirmed. So yes, they are already, I believe they have already filmed it pretty much to my knowledge. I really haven't done too many updates on it. I don't know why. There's been a lot to talk about, a lot of exciting, a lot of things that I've always got on the brain. I'm always thinking about Halloween Ends and Nope have been on the brain more than anything. My alarm is going off. That's strange. But those have been the two movies that have been on my brain the most, like Nope and Halloween Ends. I think they're the ones that are closest to us, that I'm also like I want to theorize about the most. We have that coming in October, so we have new season of Chucky. I believe it's October, if I'm correct about that. Chucky season 2. Because I'm curious. I want to see. I haven't done an update on this just in a while, so I haven't really looked into it. But yeah, season 2. Because season 1 was really successful. Season 1 absolutely fucking killed it, which is great. I liked season 1. I think it was good. Season 2 will be better, I think, for sure. But what is the release date for this, which is my question. I want to get that going. Of Chucky premieres on Sci-Fi and USA Network this fall. So this fall, there we go. So it's coming this fall. Almost there. Let's get it going. I'm excited for it. I really think that it'll be better because of yeah, and Moser, I will talk about that comment in just a second. I really think season 2 is going to be better because I just feel like there's a lot of things they had to set up in that last season that was really important. You couldn't have done it without it because of how much they wanted to focus on the legacy characters. And in a lot of ways, I respect that about season 1 now. I think at first I was kind of disappointed because I really wanted them to conclude the story, the big cliffhanger they had at the end of the last movie, which I've been waiting for since like 2017. They didn't get to that until like episode 5. And it was pretty like anticlimactic. It was pretty like not super exciting the way they did it. They kind of just were like, oh yeah, everything's fine now. And it's like, that was the big thing I wanted from the show. But as time has gone on, I've learned to appreciate it a little more. I think compared to some of the other requels out there that don't put a lot of focus on their new characters, I respect the new Chucky for having such confidence in their new characters. I'm like, that's what a lot of these requels need to be doing, honestly. So I have a lot more respect for the new Chucky show than when I first watched it. I definitely need to watch it again. But like I said, I feel like season 2 is going to be a lot better for that reason. Because they've set up these characters, now you can kind of almost put them at the legacy character status. Almost. I maybe not quite, but in this season, it'll be much closer to that. We're already familiar with them. They don't have to do any of that. We're already there. We can mix these storylines together with all these characters that have now been brought together. So I think that's probably the thing that I'm the most excited about with season 2. I think it's going to be great. But Moser Movie Reviews is talking about my shirt. Oh shit. KillJoy Jake merch is here, everybody. Little shameless plug. I'm so sorry. I know some people are like, oh God, why are you, don't be doing that on your live streams. Well, real quick, just hang out with me for 1 second here. Just hear me out. Look at this baby right here. Bam! KillJoy Jake shirt. I'm even wearing one myself. It's pretty sick. Or maybe you like the Ghost Jake shirt, which is the most cringy name I could come up with. Bam! There you go. Get yourself one of those. Maybe you want to advertise the fact that you have absolutely no friends, and all you do is watch horror movies all day like myself. You can get one of those tasty shirts. So there you go. Little self-promotion. I'll shut the fuck up now. Let's get back to horror movie talk. There we go. No more of that. But if you want a shirt, hey, go to my little store tab on my page. There you go. So why not? Hey, why not? Hey, why not do that? There you go. We have KillJoy Jake Sr. here, my dad. My grandfather is here. The very top of the chain. Jesus, that's so funny. Welcome, KillJoy Jake Sr. And also, Tori just ordered a shirt. Hell yeah. Speaking of your merch, I ordered a Ghost Jake and 2 KillJoy Jake shirts. Well, thank you so much, Tori. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy them. Because, like, holy shit, this is so comfortable. Like, the material on this is fucking badass, man. I run it through Teespring, and it's like, nice. Okay, good stuff. How else are you supposed to spread the word about? I mean, that's a good point, Kat. But I also don't want, like, I just feel like you click onto somebody's stream, you're expecting horror movie talk. This guy's fucking self-promoting his shirts. Like, shut the fuck up, man. You know, like, I don't want to give off those vibes. I'm not trying to be too self-promoty. if that's even a sentence, there you go. But interesting, Adam. Interesting take. Halloween Ends is not a movie I'm looking forward to, which sucks because I love Blumhouse, but sounds like they rushed it. More looking forward to The Black Phone. Adam, I have to agree with you about The Black Phone. I'm not gonna, even as a massive Halloween fan, I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm very excited for Halloween Ends, but honestly, I might be a little more excited for The Black Phone. Some of the news we got about it today sounds like Ethan Hawke was specifically talking about how it's like a companion film with Sinister, one of Scott Derrickson's other movies, which is just fantastic. Possibly my favorite film from the guy. Oh, Sinister's fantastic. I cannot wait to see The Black Phone, his return to horror since Sinister from 2013. So I can't wait to see what he's done with this. I'm so fucking pumped for it. Also based off of a Joe Hill short story. That is, of course, Stephen King's son. So you know it's going to be good. But Halloween Ends specifically, I'm excited for it. You know, like I'm pumped for it because I think it's going to be a good ending to this whole new like sequel trilogy. I also feel like it's going to be way better than Kills, just because I feel like it's got to be a lot more structured than the last movie, which really didn't have the best structure, but I still enjoyed it for the most part. I think it was cool. I think Halloween Kills was still fun. I did like it. I actually just met somebody today, which is crazy. Like I never meet people in real life who like horror movies, which is awesome. It was just like, oh my God, no, I found another person in real life to talk about this with who lives in like the same town as I do. That's crazy. I was wearing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt earlier, and like this, I was like waiting in the gas station line to pick up some energy drinks here. And the guy starts going, he's like, oh, dude, nice shirt, man. We talked about Halloween Ends for 30 minutes in the middle of this gas station, and people were looking at us like we were crazy. It was awesome. Oh, God, it was so exciting. But we went back and forth about it. He had some really good takes on it. And I think what he didn't love about Halloween Kills was the fact that it was kind of just Michael killing people. And like, I think there's a certain point where it's like, that's really exciting. That's really awesome. But you need a little more than that. We need to go back to how that original film was, where it was kind of like all this setup. Like the first two acts of that movie are almost kind of setup. It's enjoyable setup because you have characters that are fun and interesting, and you have like this villain who's stalking Laurie. Why is he stalking her? They never really answer that question. And I think that's what's so interesting about Halloween. I think that's why David Gordon Green won't answer the question that literally all of these characters have about Michael. Say something, Michael. What's going on inside that brain? He's never going to answer that question, especially not in this movie. And that's what makes Michael so interesting. That's what's so awesome about him. So for me, that's what I think is so exciting about this new sequel trilogy. That's what I'm really hoping happens. Oh my God, I'm just looking at this. I'm sorry. I was in the middle of a rant, but this is fucking hilarious. Someone made an entire YouTube channel just off of my hair. Just this one picture of it. This is something weird going on here. I don't necessarily love it, but that's hysterical. Howdy. What's up, my do? Not dude, but do. Hawkins, House of Horror is here. What is going on? Welcome, my good friend. Also, Carrie is here. I didn't say hi to Carrie, one of my other mods. Thank you, Carrie, for showing up to the stream. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Welcome. I need a shower. I just listen. I needed a shower after this past weekend. My buddy is going away to Boston at the end of the week. And we had our last hurrah this weekend, which is why there was no videos. But regardless, I had a really good time with him. I took like the longest shower in my entire life this morning. I was so fucking disgusting. I'm just going to be honest with you. So I took care of that today. I took a good shower. I took a good old shower, double cleaned, like just everything. I'm not even going to get into it because that's kind of gross. I don't want to get into what I washed viciously, but yes, it was vicious. It had to get all the grease off of the certain areas of my body that I shouldn't be talking about on a live stream. But anyways, talking a little more about Halloween Ends, staying on track here with things that are going on. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a step up from Kills. Maybe not as good as 2018 because I actually really liked that one. But regardless, I'm really excited for it. I feel like it has to go back to that style of like the slow build of the original, which was what I was talking about earlier, where I was going with all that. Halloween Ends has to go back to that, to feel like go back to the original with the ending, Alpha, Omega, and all that. I feel like that would make a lot of sense. That would be kind of cool, and I'd be down for it. So let's see what happens. Of course, that may or may not be what happens, but who knows? Oh my God, it's Ghostface! What is going on?
Holy shit, it's Ghostface!
What a way to frame my name, Ghost Jake. Holy shit, it's a framer. You're a phony. You ever see that Family Guy joke? Phony. Oh, Jacob Browning with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Jacob. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Argyle, the homie from Stranger Things? Well, Jacob, I'm going to answer this question, of course, and then I'm going to tell you all about when the Stranger Things season 4 review is coming out, which will hopefully be tomorrow. But Argyle, I really enjoyed. Okay, here's number one thing about Argyle I loved: representation of stoners in Stranger Things. Fuck yeah, let's go. Oh, I was very happy with that. The fact that Jonathan is a stoner, by the way, is like, that's something that needed to happen for the longest time, and I'm so glad he finally figured that out about himself. That was really funny. I loved Argyle. I really did enjoy him. Not my favorite new character though. I think Eddie was by far my favorite new character, although I really did like Argyle. He was funny. I really enjoyed him throughout. I like where the last shot we got of that whole plot line with him and Mike and Will and his brother and all that was with literally him getting stoned in his van with that girl they just met, who is Susie's like sister, I guess, or something. That's still fuzzy to me. I've only watched it once, but my review of it is coming tomorrow. Once again, I know it's super late, but it's coming. It is coming. Like I said, busy weekend. I have two buddies moving away. One buddy just moved to DC. One's going to Boston. So I'm just like, I gotta spend some time with these people. And I'm filming a movie, so like shit's just insane right now. But come July, things are gonna get back to normal. Videos every single day, live streams maybe every single day. I don't know. No confirmation, Kat. I never said that. Never said that. We have Jorbius, by the way, in the chat. If you guys were not familiar, I'm changing my entire channel. Everything's changing. I'm changing my name to Jorbius. I'm gonna start every video by saying it's Morbin time, and I'm just gonna review Morbius every single day for the rest of my life. No, I kid, of course, but yes. I just thought, wow. I saw Morbius and I'm like, this is the greatest movie ever made. So no, I kid, of course. But we have Danilo asking a little bit about Six Ream news. Six Ream, because there's the S there before there. So is there any Six Cream news? No. Unfortunately not. It's really unfortunate. I don't know what the hell's going on. I do want to say I have something to comment on, which I feel like would be a really interesting idea if the team behind this new film decided to wait on the casting news for the new film, because obviously we have new characters. How the hell can you have this new movie without new characters at this point? Like, what is one of them going to be Ghostface? I don't know. It's just kind of odd. But something I've thought about is, what if they don't announce the new people until after they film the movie, so there's less time to speculate who Ghostface is? Now, I feel like there's positives and there's negatives to this. There's some things that, like, yes, it might deter speculation because we don't know the characters, but there's also a negative to that, which I'll talk about a little bit in my video that I have probably coming tomorrow. But we have a super chat from Mohammed Nabil, there we go. Thank you so much, first of all. Have you ever visited any movie locations, either in your state or in general? Well, yes, Mohammed, I have. I have a whole like locations video series that unfortunately I can't really do too much of anymore because, well, gas prices here in the US are way up there and your boy is broke. But regardless, I'm still gonna try and do this Halloween Ends video come the end of the year. I also might do an Exorcist locations video because I'm literally I'm going to DC at some point, like I was talking about my buddies there. So I'm actually thinking about just doing a locations video for The Exorcist. Why not? While I'm there, make it two birds with one stone, I guess. But I've gone to the Halloween Kills filming locations, the Scream 5 locations. In my own state, I've gone to the Thanksgiving filming locations, which was filmed at a college here in Ohio, only an hour away from where I live too. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. I make fun of this movie all the time. That's great. Where else did I go? Dawn of the Dead filming locations, the Scream 4 filming locations, and the It Follow filming locations. So I have all those on my page in a little playlist. Make sure to check those out. Those are some of my favorite videos that I have on this page, honestly. So check those out. A lot of research, a lot of time went into those videos, and a lot of money. So check those out. It's good stuff. Jakey Myers with my favorite picture of myself ever that everyone likes to use. Sup? What's up, Jakey? What's going on? This picture of me, by the way, I absolutely I just think it's hilarious. Carter Scotland Allen, another YouTuber who's not here, unfortunately, but he just put out a video today that was, I didn't even know he was gonna make it or anything. I gotta pull this up because this shit's hilarious, man. He ranked all of Chloe Okuno's short films, who has a brand new full-length feature coming out at the end of the week, which I cannot wait for. He made a whole I always talk about how much I love Chloe Okuno and how underrated she is. So he made a whole video like ranking all that, and then like he kind of put me at the beginning of it and used that picture of me in the thumbnail, which is hilarious. I love it. But super underrated director, seriously. Like, some good stuff. Can't talk about her enough. If you have no idea who I'm talking about, by the way, that is oh my god, wow. Whoa, I'm spiraling today. But she's the girl that directed the Ratma skit in VHS 94, which is like probably my favorite. Although I'm not gonna lie, the more I watch VHS 94, I almost kind of like The Fear the most, which is the last one. That might be my favorite. Like, that one is so funny and so gross and so visceral. It's like everything I want in, but so is the Ratma skit. I don't know. They're all good. They're literally all good. I love them all. So, KillJoy Jake's poopy pants. How did you know I pooped my pants in that picture? I thought only Matt knew about that, who was with me there in. That's funny. Dino, I don't know if I said hi to you, another one of my channel members. Welcome to the stream, Dino. Welcome. Yes, become a channel member, by the way, if you want. That would be cool. Yeah, why not do that? That would be sick. That'd be a good time. So, yes, my poopy pants, my hand, my there's my hand is in the chat. My hair is in the chat. We have a lot of fun elements of myself somehow responding to this in the chat, which is great. But Easton Place talks a little bit about Crimes of the Future, which, yes, I will be seeing that. So, okay, here's the weirdest thing about Crimes of the Future. I thought that film wasn't going to be coming out until the 10th next week, but like only in select theaters for this week. But I guess not. I guess, no, they're releasing that. I'm going to see it like in my local theater. I'm like, okay. Fuck yeah, let's go. So I'm seeing it Thursday. You'll see a review of that probably Thursday night. I am literally so fucking excited, man. I love David Cronenberg. Like, I love all of his movies that I have seen. I have yet to see some of his 90s stuff, which is like, I guess some of actually his like super like most underrated shit. I have yet to see it, but I hear Existence is great. Crash, is it Crash or Drive? Ugh, I don't even remember. But I hear that's like one of his best movies. I need to watch. I still haven't watched that, which sucks. I love his early work. Like that's my favorite David Cronenberg stuff. Like man, the one about like the sex zombies. Yes, and if you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Jake? That's a real movie. It's not Slither, but it's like Slither. Basically, I'm looking it up because like I have to talk about this real quick. This movie is insane and so underrated. Like, how are more people? Crash is the movie from '96 that I was thinking of, but I don't know how more people are. Shivers. I don't know how more people are not talking about this film. This is an underrated gem from the mid '70s that I just absolutely loved. It's his first like feature length picture that actually had had some attention to it. Shivers, I could not recommend more. That's maybe the most underrated. That's the most underrated Cronenberg film that I've seen so far. But I've also heard Existence is great. Naked Lunch is really weird. I haven't watched those two yet, but I love David Cronenberg. So go see Crimes of the Future this weekend if you're into weird body horror kind of movies like that. But yeah, I couldn't even pick a favorite. Like of what I've seen, I don't think I could pick a favorite. Videodrome is so good. Dead Ringers is fantastic. The Fly, everyone has seen The Fly. Dead Ringers. See, I was just talking about this. Jakey Myers, putting that in there. Love Dead Ringers is great. Dead Ringers, I feel like, is everything that's great about David Cronenberg movie all in one film. That's what's great. It shows off body horror. It shows off this great, like, the psychology of it, the fucked up characters that his movies usually follow. Dead Ringers is just, if you're trying to get into Cronenberg, that's a really good place to start, I feel like. This is interesting. So I've heard about this a little bit. Titanic 666. I haven't watched it yet, but I hear it's like one of the first like Tubi originals. So that's interesting to me. I'm always down for like what a streaming service has to offer for their originals and all that, not just like what they're putting on their platform. I have to check it out, but everyone who's talked about it says it's pretty mad. But interesting stuff. Regardless, I'm interested. Now my shirt is in the chat. So my stab shirt. I love how you're just using the one picture of me. Too who's ever doing that, I applaud you, by the way. Thank you. This has been hilarious. I literally talk to my friends about whoever you are, person out there making accounts of my shirt and my hand and my gross greasy forehead. Literally telling my buddy about this last night. I'm like, that's so funny. Like that's hilarious. I love it. Okay, so let's shift a little bit because we've talked about Halloween Ends, we've talked a little bit about Chucky, we've talked about a bunch of big stuff. So, but we haven't talked about one of the biggest things, and that is Scream 6. If I was actually in Scream 6, would you go see it? Caleb Jenkins, of course. I would go see it if for any reason. I would just go see it because it's a Scream movie, of course. But if you were in it, I would definitely want to see it even more. There you go, Caleb. I'm so pumped for Scream, man. I think it's honestly, it has to be better than Scream 5. I am not saying Scream 5's bad. I loved it. I think it was still a really good movie. The more I've watched it, the more I've come to realize like there's some things that I feel like they could have done differently. But regardless, I feel like Scream 6 is going to be Radio Silence's Scream movie. Thanks, just doing all the things that they actually want to do with the film. Scream 5 was kind of like their entrance point, right? It's like, okay, hey, check this out. We can make a Scream movie. Okay, everybody trust us. Here you go. And it's like, okay, that was a Scream movie. That was fun. The killers were great. I think the murders were fun too. There was a lot of good stuff in there. But with this next one, I want to see what Radio Silence necessarily wants to bring to the table. And I really hope they've set up things in this past film that's going to be prevalent in the next one. Because watching Scream 5 the entire time up until the ending, which we'll talk about that in a sec, I'm thinking to myself, they're definitely setting up some shit for the next film. Like they're definitely setting up things to come back for Scream 6 because they want to do another sequel. But then the ending wraps up really neatly. Like it wraps up like it's the end of an entire franchise. And I'm just like, did they do all of that for no reason? Like, did they just set up all that stuff for like absolutely nothing? Like killing Dewey to me was one of those things where I'm seeing another really funny account. Killing Dewey to me was one of those things where I feel like it's set up for something else moving forward. And if they don't use that for anything plot-wise moving forward, I'm going to be kind of just really confused. Just like, what's going on here? What's happening? I really hope that's the case. I hope they set up a lot of things moving forward into the next film with some of the already established ideas. But if they didn't, feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity. So Mohammed, thank you so much for another super chat. Wow, I don't know what AED is, but 50 of them. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Mohammed. Thank you. That really means a lot. Hey, Jake, I'll be sure to check out your visited filming locations. They look like a lot of fun. Since you're from Ohio, have you visited any of the Shawshank Redemption locations? A lot was shot in Mansfield. Yes, I'm only like an hour away from Mansfield. I should do a filming locations video there just because, I mean, it's so close to my house. Not arguably horror, but it's from the master of horror, Stephen King. So like, I feel like I have a little leeway there. I should do that. Honestly, I'm going to write that down just because like I can knock that out in a week. I just doing all the, doing all the research and all that, like, I could knock that out so easily. So who would like to see a Shawshank Redemption's who would like to see a Shawshank Redemption filming locations video? Leave me something about it in the chat. If you're like, hey, that sounds cool, sure. So tell me what you guys think about that. I'm curious. So I'm gonna write that down right now because I should do that, man. That'd be such an easy video to make. That's not even that far of a drive. I mean, seriously, like I just get on the highway and like you're there pretty much. I've actually been to the prison before. So good soup equals the Shawshank video. Carter, Scott, and Allen, I was literally just talking about your video you made. That was hilarious. Some really good stuff, man. Wow, that was that was so funny. That intro was fantastic. That really got me. I gotta admit, Carter, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil it on here, but I think I have to agree with your ranking, even though it makes me kind of sad that something wasn't number one. But I think I agree with you because of the character development, because of all that. I think I agree overall. So how is the left blue foot coming? It's going good. It's going really good. We're filming more this weekend. Unfortunately, we're not able to film in the week this week just because I really gotta catch up with YouTube stuff. But we will be filming this weekend. We'll probably be done with it the first or second week of July is what I'm thinking. So we're about a third of the way done. Haven't had much progress since that 14-hour shoot because that was a lot. We're not doing another one of those. Trust me. We had to do a 14-hour shoot Thursday night, and it was insane. Like, it was completely nuts. We filmed one of the coolest scenes in the entire movie, though. Like, I was geeking out the whole time. Like, it was like kind of annoying to be around me because I'm jumping up and down with like this $1,200 camera, and I'm just like, oh, let's go. And everyone's looking at me like, please don't drop that, Jake. We can't afford to get another one of those. Oh my God. But it was just so exciting. I mean, it's a phone call scene. That's all I'm going to say. It's a phone call scene, and it's like starts off typical Scream movie, whatever, but it goes somewhere completely different, and it's so crazy. It's a lot of fun. So I can't wait for you guys to see that scene, especially that we filmed this past week. And oh man, it came out. It couldn't have came out better. I'm so happy with it so far. I'm really happy with everything we filmed so far, actually, and I cannot wait for this weekend too. So, I also want to thank, real quickly while we're here, the Bearded Entertainment came all the way from Colorado to help me film some drone shots for the movie. I actually got to meet up with him. Super nice guy. I cannot be more thankful for this dude. Like, go subscribe to him if you have not. He's just amazing. The Bearded Entertainment, I could not be more thankful for that dude. I mean, he really helped. I didn't know what we were going to do drone-wise. I was like calling people up who I knew kind of had some decent drones. This dude pulls out this thing that's like shoots in 4K. It's like, oh my God, this is crazy. So he's amazing. Like, it was just awesome. Carter Scotland Allen, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Can you say how long Red Right Hand is expected to be? It's going to be 90 minutes. Believe it or not. And I know, like you hear a bunch of fan films are usually like an hour, whatever. We're going for the full 90. Like, it's going to be a lot of work, and it's not going to be easy, but it's got to be 90 minutes. We can't cut. I don't want to cut it down. We've already been talking about like, do we have to cut something down? Like, are we not going to have enough time to film this? No, I'm like, listen, we're doing it. It's going to happen. We're making this. We're making a 90-minute Scream film. It's not going to be 2 hours like a typical Scream movie, but it's going to be 90 minutes, and that's way longer than any fan film needs to be. But we're doing it because that's how I have always envisioned it. So 90 minutes, baby. Let's go. Mohammed with another super chat. Thank you so much. Man, Mohammed's killing it tonight. You're the MVP tonight, bro. Yeah, Jake, would be great if you could do that. It's one of my top 2 favorite movies of all time. That's a great choice, man. It's a film that's very close to my heart. Nice. That's awesome. I will do that just for you, Mohammed. I'll get that going. I love that film. I love that movie. I love The Green Mile, done by the same dude, Frank Darabont, too. Both of those films are phenomenal. If you guys have skipped out on those because, like, it's much more drama than typical Stephen King movies where it's like something crazy horror-wise. Like, if you go into that movie expecting It 2017, you're going to be disappointed. That's not exactly the vibe of those films, but they're just really well done prison dramas. So if that's your kind of thing, if that's what you're into, maybe not, and that's okay. Check them out. They're just still great films. I think they're just they're both 10 out of 10 movies, I think. They're really fantastic. The attention to detail is phenomenal. And there's some really gross things in both films, actually. So, especially in Shawshank, man. The ending of that makes you kind of want to throw up a little bit, but it's awesome. It's like you want to throw up and you're also just like, let's fucking go, like at the same time. It's a weird mixture that I love. You can't get that anywhere else. So I love Shawshank Redemption, man. I love it. Great movie. Great movie. Can't wait for Red Right Hand. Thank you. I appreciate that. KillJoy Jake's nose and mouth is in the chat. Let's go. This is a facade. This isn't real. This isn't my real nose and mouth. So y'all are getting creative. Stop shaking me around. Yeah, if you guys don't realize when I talk, look at this. Watch this. So see how my nose kind of wiggles when I talk? Every single human being on planet Earth makes fun of me for that. So there you go. If you're like, oh man, I'm trying to leave a hate comment for this guy, I just can't figure out what to make fun of. You can make fun of my nose because that really bugs me. So there you go. I don't know why I told you all that, but there you go. 50 people just heard me say that, so I can't wait for all the comments I get tomorrow. Or right now in my live chat. There you go. Is there a way where I can contribute to Red Right Hand? Asks Mohammed. Well, we did the Kickstarter back all the way in March, which I greatly appreciate everyone who supported that. I couldn't be more thankful for that. But if you want to help like with everything else, because I'm gonna be honest, we're we've nearly spent the budget on everything already. So, but we're doing okay. You know, we're still gonna be able to make the movie. It's nothing I'm worried about at this point. But if you still want to support like the channel, everything we do, you can become a channel member here or just like on Patreon, whatever you guys want to do. Like if you hit that little join button on my page, literally anything. If you just want to go the ghost face tier, like $3 a month, nothing. You get an extra video every single week and just some other really fun bonus content. If you support me at some of the higher tiers though, you get like updates on Red Right Hand, secret live streams and all that. So there you go. A lot of fun stuff. So if you want to contribute to like the movie, everything we do here at Trigger Mortis Productions or for KillJoy Jake, whatever, that's how you can do that. That's how you can help out. So, or I'm sorry, I'm saying this again for the second time, but also a KillJoy Jake shirt too also helps. So all that money basically goes right back into all this. So that's what it is. And I greatly appreciate it. Every single person out there who's supporting, it means a lot. Ethan W, thank you. No offense at all, but that has to be the cutest feature a person could have. Well, Ethan, that means a lot. I really appreciate that. I've had many girlfriends make fun of me for that in the past. So that means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you again, Jacob Browning, for a $2 super chat. Constantine would be a great horror film for DC. I'm going to be honest. I don't know why people don't like that Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves. I think it's great. I think it's really fun. I think it bombed too, to my knowledge of that film, but I love it. We need a new Constantine. I remember there was like some rumblings about a Constantine 2 that was like, oh yeah, that's totally happening, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know what's going on with that. But I really hope they make another Constantine film with Keanu Reeves, perfect for the role too, by the way. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I agree with you that they should make some more Constantine content. Say that 5 times fast. 5 times fast. See, I can't even say that after saying Constantine content. Constantine content. See, that's tough to say, but I love it regardless. Some good stuff. My Ghostface sparkly robes. Sparkly robes. I just like saying that. Finally got delivered right now. Nice, Hawkins. That's badass, bro. Yeah, we're featuring, and like this is really no surprise at this point. If you've seen the poster for Red Right Hand, if you've seen just me talking about it in general, you're probably like, oh, there's probably another Ghostface, another type of Ghostface killer in this movie. And you would be correct about that. There are many kinds of ghost faces in our film. What, you might ask? You'll find out in December. I can't explain any further than that. But there's going to be devil ghost faces. There's going to be regular ghost faces. There's going to be stab ghost faces. You'll see how it all makes sense in December though, because right now I wouldn't want to ruin that fun for you. But if you've seen the poster, you know that there's a devil ghost face in the film. What could that be? I don't know. I can't really tell you. Until you see it. So go check it out in December. It's going to be great. I'm sorry if I'm talking about it a lot. I'm just really excited. Like, every single person involved is putting all this effort into it, and we're making it like we're treating this like it's an actual film. Like, that is the professionalism that literally everyone is bringing to it. It's amazing to be a part of that. I don't even care what my role is. I would just be happy to be like the dude holding the light on the set of this film because of how into it everyone is. And that's the best part of making this thing. That the passion is there with everybody involved, which is amazing. I don't know. It's just great. Okay, Caleb. Throwing out some real risque stuff here. I think Gail should be killed off due to her other projects she has coming up. Whew, that's a can of worms right there. All right, so here's the thing. I feel like if they kill off another legacy character at this point, just for the shock value, like how they might have done with Dewey, that's still up in the air. Scream 6 could prove me wrong with that, but at the moment, I'm kind of like, did they just kill off Dewey for shock value? Because I'd be kind of upset. Listen, trust me, I agree with the people who are like, well, what the hell? These characters are unkillable, like they've survived for so long. But like I've said, there's pluses and minuses to that. There's two sides of that coin. There's no other slasher franchise that has kept so many characters alive for this long. Maybe a final girl character, but not 3 whole characters. That's so different for the Scream franchise, and I think that's really interesting. To kill off Gale, though, that to me comes off as that's just for shock value. That's literally just... I'm sorry, these accounts are killing me right now. But killing off Gale just for shock value to me, I feel like would kind of suck because it's like we already did that in the last movie. And if Dewey's death goes nowhere except for shock value, kind of don't love that. Don't do it again in the sequel because of how polarizing that was. I think moving forward, it can do something for the plot line of the next film, and you can explain it as to, oh, maybe that's the reason this other killer comes up, or maybe that's a big plot line for Gale and Sidney to go through in Scream 6. I don't know. Like, I don't know yet. If they implement that into the sixth film, I'll be totally okay with Dewey's death, honestly. But if they don't, and it goes nowhere, I just feel like that would kind of be whack. But to kill off Gale, I feel like would be really controversial, especially because I don't feel like I'm the only one who feels this way. I kind of want more Scream films in the future. And by killing off legacy characters like this, that's it. You know, that's it for them. There's really nothing else that they can do at this point with those characters. You'd have to bring back like let's say Melissa Barrera and stuff if she makes it through like all the way through these next two movies, possibly a 7 if that happens, which it probably will. I hope they don't kill off too many characters just for shock value. Like, give me a little more than that. These people have been going it's so long throughout this franchise. I feel like just killing them off for shock value kind of sucks. You could do that in another franchise. You can do that in Halloween Kills with some of those characters. And you know what, whatever. That was Marion Chambers dies. Some people were upset about that. Not that big of a deal in my opinion. But the fact that they killed off Dewey in the last film, that's a big deal because of how important that is to this franchise. Make it worthwhile. If you did that, I hope you have a plan for where you're going with it, to not bring those fans back, but to give that a purpose, to give that whole scene a purpose moving forward in the franchise. Don't do anything without purpose, I guess. When you're writing the screenplay for the first movie and what I'm assuming is going to be a trilogy. So everyone thinks my hair looks greasy. I swear to God, I showered today. Man, his hair looks like he just bought a Fortnite battle pass. That's pretty funny. I gotta admit, Easton. I swear to God, my hair is clean and I put condition. Maybe some of y'all don't use conditioner, but I use the conditioner every now and then and make it look all moist. KillJoy Jake's unmoist hair washer. I do. I promise. Jake's forehead and eyebrows are the perfect combo. Are they though? I mean, Jesus, dude, this has got to be at least 3 inches going on here. And these eyebrows, it's like someone stapled caterpillars to my forehead. That's kind of what my eyebrows look like to me. So roasted. I'm getting roasted, Conrad. This whole chat is just roasting me. I love it. Ice Nine Kills is such an underrated band. So this is the band that just put out an entire album where like every song was horror based. Where I heard about these guys from Dead Meat had announced they're like, oh, we're making a cameo in their latest music video, which was awesome, by the way. I think the thing something I want to say about it is like I had that idea in my freshman year of high school, and I was kind of mad. I'm not gonna lie. When I heard that album came out, I was like, my freshman year of high school, I have a notebook somewhere where I wrote down like a bunch of ideas for like an album where every song was based off of like a famous horror villain. Like that was like the whole concept of it. And Ice Nine Kills kind of did that, like in their own way. And like, no, I'm not mad about it. No, of course not. Definitely not. No, not at all. No, I kid, of course. I think it's fucking awesome. I actually have to listen to the whole thing. I've listened to like 3 or 4 songs, but I got to listen to the whole album. I hear it's fantastic. So Ice Nine Kills is great. I've seen them in concert before. They used to, I believe they were at Warped Tour, I want to say, and they killed it, man. I love me some good metal music. So yes, and listen, I appreciate okay, you stop. We're not going to make a big deal about it, but yeah, like just something I want to throw out there just for everyone. Please don't spam the chat. I will get to your comments when I can get to them. I promise. I will prioritize super chats though, as this little thing down here says. The other thing is just don't self-promote in your chat. I've been having a lot of people do that lately, and it's like that's kind of what if I came into your chat and was like, hey, come check out my stream? Like that would, listen, I'll give people shout outs, no problem. If we're friends, I have no problem doing that. But please don't self-promote on my streams. That's just kind of rude. It's like coming into my house and putting your feet up on my table when we've just met. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just throwing that out there. That's all. But I love all you guys. All you guys are fantastic. So. I rarely have that problem too. So I rarely have that problem. It's another thing. So Dave Craven says, if you have heard 3.14 by Poppy yet, my cat. Yeah. Yes, Poppy wrote an entire song about her cat, Pie, and it's called 3.14. It's awesome. I love it. She samples her cat in that song, right? Like you can actually hear meows and all that shit. It's fucking great. I love Poppy. I don't know if I've talked about that enough on this page, but I like literally every time she's in town, like I have to go to her shows. Like it's just like it's a must. It's a must. It's got to happen. So I love it. I absolutely love them. But we're talking about little Halloween Ends here today. So let's keep it on track. What do we want to see from Halloween Ends more than anything? Like ending wise, because like that's what we're going into this film for. We're going into this film for a good ending, something we've really never have gotten in this franchise, because everything good either gets retconned or every storyline doesn't get finished because of certain reasons. I'm looking at you, Curse of Michael Myers, Curse movie. It just, why continue? You could have ended it. That's a whole thing. So I just feel like I really want one timeline to end conclusively, where it's not just Michael walking off into the distance, but maybe that's where they go. Maybe that's where they go with this next film, because that's on brand for Halloween. And we're expecting an ending, even though in the past, we really haven't gotten anything very conclusive. It's always been continuous. But with the title, that's where I feel like it has to end, right? Halloween Ends. Like, it's called Halloween Ends. You got to give me an ending. You got to give me something that feels final. And killing Michael, I feel like, is the only way for the Halloween murders to end. But maybe there's more to it than that. Maybe that's a little closed-minded. Maybe there's more to it than that specifically ending. Maybe that's not what they're talking about. So it all depends on what they do. I want to see what they do with it. I'm really curious. I hope they give us a definitive ending, because we haven't gotten that yet. That would be different. But then again, you can't kill the boogeyman. So there's two sides to that argument, I think. How do you think they will explain the 4-year time jump is a good question, John Smith. I feel like we have to have a scene in 2018, right? Maybe we start the movie off showing us concluding some of the, because we kind of left off on a cliffhanger, right? Where we left off is Karen getting killed by Michael, and Michael just staring out the window or into his eyes, or whatever the fuck Michael wants to do in his room by himself. Listen, I mean, anyone who has the mind of like a child might be doing some other things in their room alone by themselves, but Michael likes to stare out the window, so fuck it. How will they explain the 4-year time jump? I feel like we have to have a scene in 2018 where something happens to conclude that. If it's Michael getting away, if it's Laurie coming after him or something, I don't know, something. Give me something to conclude the 2018 shit, then jump 4 years in the future. If you want to do like a 4 years later, whatever, that's okay. But I think how they'll actually explain it, why Michael comes back after 4 years, because that's what has to happen, right? I mean, what is he's been killing people every single Halloween in those 4 years? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You would have just showed it to us in 2019, the next year, if they would have went that route. But they're taking it to 2022 because Michael's been doing something for the past 4 years. He has not been killing. He hasn't been in the light. He's been hiding somewhere. I don't think they're going to take him back to jail. This is something that unfortunately we have to speculate on, because it's something that they could do, but it would be the easy route. The easy route would be to have a scene in 2018 where he gets captured by the police again, do the same thing you basically saw at the beginning of Halloween Kills, where it flashes back to 1978. You see all the cops surrounding him, and they take him to the asylum. I really hope that's not the case here, where it's like, it's the same scene, but in 2018. I really, 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 really hope it's not the exact same scene and he just goes back to prison. The start of Halloween, the first 30 minutes of Halloween Ends is him breaking out again or some shit. Like, don't give me that. That's the same thing we've seen in 2018, 78, 4. I mean, fuck, there's so many movies where like that idea has happened. Give me something else. Give me Michael Myers living in the woods somewhere, living off the land. Give me Michael Myers living in a storm drain somewhere, biting into rats, if you haven't heard me say that enough. Give me Michael Myers living underneath a radio tower that's abandoned. I don't fucking know. Just give me something else than him getting captured, breaking out, and all that. I want to see that personally. I want to see, that's how I want them to explain the 4-year gap, is that somehow he gets found and has to go back in the town and start killing people. Something along those lines. Now that the Myers house isn't there anymore, it's been bulldozed apparently. I want to see that. I want to understand why there's a 4-year time gap. They have a specific reason why. I would guess. Why else do that otherwise? Just to make it in the same timeline as like where we're at right now. Is that why they're doing it? I don't know. So I guess we'll see. Apollo Balboa says, I refuse to be played as dramatically as possible. I love that. Halloween Ends ain't ending anything. JLC will return once again for the 60th anniversary as an 80-year-old traumatized woman. I'm done. I really don't know if that's going to be the case. I really don't know. I know Jason Blum said some stuff recently about like, there's going to be more movies eventually, but I don't know, man. I feel like this has got to be the end of this timeline. Why call it Halloween? Like this is the same thing as calling it Halloween: The Final Chapter and then making another movie 2 years later. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they have Blumhouse has a little more integrity than that to have to trick people into coming to a film, because that's the only motivation you would have behind calling your film Ends and then making more movies is you have to trick people to come and see your film because it's later on in the franchise and all that, and it's like, oh, they're starting to make less money. The other thing is they announced that it was going to be called Ends after Halloween 2018 came out, which as of right now, Halloween 2018 is like the most successful slasher movie ever. Like it made I think it made like over $200 million, right? Something like that. So that's fucking awesome. That's really fucking cool. I don't think that if that was the plan all along was to name it Ends because, we got to trick people into coming to see it and all that because we want to make more movies in the future, but these are kind of whatever. If that was the plan from the get-go, they wouldn't I don't think they would have went this route. Halloween 2018 was so successful. They were riding that high when they announced the next two movies. I think they already had the plans for it. They already made the plans like to go on and do those movies, to my knowledge, but I really don't think they would have called it Halloween Ends if they weren't going to give us some kind of ending. If something wasn't going to end in this movie, I feel like no matter what, either Laurie or Michael is going to die in this next film. If that's not the case, they played us. And I don't really understand why they would do that. There's really no motivation for them to not do that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope it's because they actually want to give this a definitive ending. But if not, if they want to have Michael survive at the end of it, I'm fine with that. As long as like Laurie or someone die, you have to end it somehow. I think that's the big thing. You have to end something. Or if you don't, I'm going to be disappointed. What's up, Corey? How's it going? Welcome. Do you guys know when the Chucky movie came out? If you're talking about the 2019 remake that came out in 2019, and there's been talks of a sequel for a while now, if they're gonna continue that, which I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about that. A 2019 Chucky sequel, because I liked it. I think the kills were great, but it didn't feel like Chucky. Like it didn't feel like it just felt like another haunted doll movie that you just slapped the title of Child's Play onto. If that would have been an original movie, I would have loved it so much more. If that was an original movie, I would have been so fucking down for that. That would have been awesome. But it just doesn't feel like Chucky to me. That's my problem with the 2019 film. I will see a sequel. Like if they make it, I'll be there. Honestly, I'll be kind of excited for it because of how well done the kills and those sequences were in that last film. I also really liked the cast. I really liked the cast of that movie too. Everyone in that movie shines, I think. Aubrey Plaza. I can't remember the name of the dude who plays the cop. For the life, Brian Tyree Henry. That's it. There we go. Wow, I pulled that out of the far reaches of my brain. Brian Tyree Henry is amazing in that movie. Super underrated, and the kid's really good too. That's Jason Bateman's kid, I think. Gabriel Bateman, I think is his name. If that I might be wrong about, but Brian Tyree Henry, that I know for sure. Justin Baugh is here. What's going on, Justin? Justin, thanks for stopping by. What's up? What's up? I guess I'm frozen according to Kevin. Sorry. Hopefully I'm unfrozen now, Kevin. I have good signal, so. What about the TV show for Chucky? Yeah, we're this fall. We were talking about that a little earlier. The TV second season that comes out this fall sometime. I don't believe there's a 100% release date as of right now, but I know it's coming this fall. I know 100% it's coming this fall. So I'm excited for it. I like to kind of harp on what I said earlier. I think this new season is going to be way better than the last season, like by far, like 100% sure. I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a step up from like what the very exposition heavy first season. I think it's going to be much better. So Is it safe to say that Jenna Ortega will be this generation's scream queen? Wow, that's tough to say. Seems like she's mostly taking horror roles. I'm here for it. Well, Justin, what's interesting about that is on the behind the scenes of X, I just got the Blu-ray of it and I watched the behind the scenes. Jenna Ortega talked so much about how she loves doing horror movies. Like, that is her absolute favorite genre of movies to work on because of like what you can bring to it, how everyone kind of has like their own creativity they put into their own characters. And you see that with Jenna Ortega in literally all of her roles. Like, every role of hers I have seen in a horror movie, she's playing like a super different character, which she has some fucking amazing range. So yes, is she this generation scream queen at this point? I say so. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. She's been amazing in like everything she's been in. Like between X, between Scream, between The Babysitter 2. I love her in every single role. And like I said, every single movie's so different. Every single movie is like she plays a different character. If you've seen The Babysitter 2, you know what I'm talking about. She's like this super outrageous, like kind of nasty teenage girl. But then in X, she's like this really shy church mouse, as the one character calls her. So she has range. I love it. I think she's just an amazing actress. I hope she's in more horror in the future. I really do hope so. But I will say, there is competition here because we also have Anya Taylor-Joy, who's pretty fantastic as well. So I will say it's, you know, we have some Scream queens going around. We have multiple Scream queens who, like, I love Anya Taylor-Joy too. I mean, fuck, dude, Split, The Witch. Oh my God, she's gonna be in that new movie this year about the food on like some weird island or whatever the fuck it's called. I can't remember the name of that, but like she's in a shit ton of horror movies that are great. Last Night in Soho, that I really enjoyed that. I know I'm totally going off topic right now, but Last Night in Soho, I did not like the first time I saw it. Recently rewatched it, and I'm like, okay, I like it a little more. It's definitely a movie that's a little more stylistic. It's more stylistic than anything Edgar Wright has ever done, and that's the focus of it, like for sure. I think that was my problem with it because I like how his movies balance his style and his the way he tells his stories in a way that is like it's perfectly balanced in all of his films except Last Night in Soho, in my opinion. Maybe at World's End too is a little unbalanced, but I think that movie really obscures it a bit and focuses so much on style, which is not a bad thing. For me, I have to have a really good story to be invested in something. I like how that movie looks gorgeous. I mean, like 11 out of 10 on the visuals and all that. Like, you could not have done that movie better, stylistically speaking, but I just feel like the story, you could have handled a little better. I feel like the twist was a little obvious. It also doesn't make a whole lot of sense. There's some plot holes that I found just watching it on the first time. It was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But regardless, I still enjoyed it. I think second time around, I think it was really fun. But we'll stay back on topic with Halloween Ends. I like to go all over the place. Acorn says, "Hey, when do you think we are going to see the Halloween Ends trailer?" Well, now this is the last day of May, everybody. We are now going into June 1st, literally tomorrow, in a couple of hours. I really think we get the trailer sometime soon. I believe we got the Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills trailer around the same time, towards the middle or end of June. So that's probably when we'll get it. But if we get it sooner than that, I also wouldn't be surprised. I would say for sure we get it by the end of next month. But don't be surprised if it comes out like in 2 weeks. Like if it came out on like, let's say the 14th or the 16th or something. Don't be surprised if we get the first trailer around then. Because it could happen. It certainly could happen for sure. Wouldn't it be funny if Scream 6 mentions the movie X? It would be funny if Jenna Ortega's character was the one that had the line about it. Moser, this is a great idea, actually. This works perfectly because Jenna Ortega is the one who loves A24 films, canonically. So that would work really well. Maybe here's something that would be funny. Maybe you have a conversation between her and Christina Carpenter where they're talking a little bit about horror movies with each other, because apparently that's how they bond. That's something we learned from the last film. And we get a line maybe talking about like new A24 releases, like they're going back and forth about it. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I saw that movie X, but it kind of sucked. Like, just wasn't a fan of it." That would be funny. I'd be all about that. It'd be all about little self-deprecating humor, little something like that. That'd be pretty good shit right there, I'd say. The trailer for Nope hasn't released, and I'm so excited, says Rodrigo. Yes. So Here's something really fucking weird. So I put out this video talking about like, oh, hey, everyone, look out for the second Nope trailer. It's coming sometime soon. Monkey Paw Productions put that on their Instagram and Twitter, I believe, like Thursday or Friday, or maybe even before that, like maybe even Wednesday of last week. Still nothing. I'm keeping my eyes peeled, y'all. Where is it? Give it to me sometime soon. I'm dying here. So hopefully that's the case. I want to see it sometime soon. It's coming, apparently, according to Monkey Paw Productions. But I absolutely love this. I got a comment on that video where it was like, oh, these nobodies out here are talking about when things are happening just for clicks. And I'm like, you didn't watch the video, my friend. I'm literally reporting on something that Monkey Paw Productions, this Jordan Peele studio, put out about it. So like, I don't know what to tell you, fam. Kendall, so I can't comment legally. I can't comment on this, but I have seen the film already. I can't give you a review of it yet. Actually, what's the date today? Oh wait, I can talk about it. Oh fuck, no, actually, I can talk about it since Monday. Oh yeah, I saw it. No, I saw it, and it was interesting. I'll have a review. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna put a review out about that tomorrow. I completely forgot. Like I wasn't supposed to talk about it until this week, so I can talk about it now. But what I'll say that I won't spoil my whole review of it. Dashcam is basically. I don't want to be too harsh because I didn't love it. I'll be honest. I didn't love it. I don't think it was like nowhere near as much as how I loved Host. Like Host from the same guy was amazing and kind of commented on similar things that Dashcam comments on, but Dashcam goes way too far. Like I've never seen a movie go way too far into the political commentary than that movie. Like that goes way too extreme with it. That movie needed a rewrite, like for sure. Not a whole rewrite, just a revision of the script. It needed to really chill the fuck out with some of its commentary because it was so in your face you couldn't even enjoy the movie. Like it was that much in your face, especially in the first act. The third act really chills out and becomes a horror movie much more. And honestly, you could have made that should have been like a shorter movie. I think it's about 70 or 80 minutes long. It should have been another 60-minute movie like Host. It was too long. It had way too much shit going on in your face to the point where the movie actually wasn't even enjoyable. And the main character is just not funny. Like I think they try to make it like, oh, she's so cringy and so like the worst person ever that it's funny, but it's not funny. Like it's just not funny. It's too much. I felt like it was a little too much, a little too heavy-handed, a little too in your face with the commentary. But I think the horror element in the third act was done really well. I think that for sure was the strongest thing about the film. And I put in my Letterboxd review about it. I'm actually starting. The more I think about it, the more I like the film too. Like the more I go back to it, the more I think about some of the things it comments on and some of the horror elements that it goes through. It's like. Fuck! I actually kind of liked it, but I want to hate it. You know, it's one of those things. But everyone's gonna have a different take on this film. I feel like so you should check it out. Check it out this weekend. I'll have a review of it tomorrow morning. Yeah, no, I'll do that in a Stranger Things 4 video, and maybe a Scream. You know, I'll try to get everything going tomorrow morning. I'm gonna wake up early, just get a shit ton of videos out. So, but check it out. Yeah, I forgot I could talk about it now. So that's really exciting. Wow. Thanks for the heads up. Thanks, Kendall. I appreciate that. Yeah. What we have my girlfriend is in the chat. This is wow. Nice. Okay. Awesome. You know, usually you got to meet someone before you say they're your boyfriend, girlfriend kind of situation. But yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. That's moving a little too fast there. KillJoy Jake's lovely girlfriend. Be on the lookout about the movie Bed Rest, starring Melissa Barrera. It's a horror film upcoming. Ooh, okay. Hell yeah. I'll have to check that out. I love Melissa Barrera. I can't wait to see any other projects she's in. She's like, listen, we all talk about her because of Scream, but she's fantastic in that Lin-Manuel Miranda musical, which I won't go on about because this is a horror page, but she's fantastic in that. Really, just great performance. In Scream 6, I could see Kirby and Jenna trying to take down Ghostface, so Sam calls me Caleb. We need your help, so I say I'm on the way to shoot that fucker. I could see it, Caleb. I hope that's the case. I hope you're in it, too. I hope you're in it. Matt is calling me. Interesting. Are you more excited for Scream? Tracy, this is an impossible question to answer because I'm excited for Scream 6 for totally different reasons than I am for Halloween Ends. Like, Halloween Ends I'm excited for because it may or may not be the concluding chapter to a Halloween timeline for the first time ever, which is something we've never seen. So I'm excited about that. I think that's really exciting. That's really awesome. Which one do I think is going to be a better film overall, though? Probably Scream 6. Like, honestly, even though there's some... I'm going to be honest with everything about it that we know about it. I feel like we're kind of in this iffy spot right now with it, with Scream 6. Not all of us are feeling like we're loving everything we're hearing about it. Radio Silence had said something about like not including all the legacy characters, and it's like, oh, we can still feel their presence. People are pretty 50-50 on that, is how it seems. I'm kind of on the side of like, well, if Sydney's not there, you got to strengthen your new characters. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm just not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna love it or not. Depends on how they do it. All depends on how they do it. I'm probably more excited for Scream 6 though, regardless, because I really think it's going to be Radio Silence's take on Scream, where Scream 5 was Radio Silence pretending to be Wes Craven making a Scream movie. So I want to see what just straight up Radio Silence brings to the table with 6, and hopefully they don't have the same approach with that they had with 5 for 6. I hope they just go their own route with it. Just do your own thing. Try something experimental. So. I'm probably more, for that reason, I'm probably more excited for Scream 6. I feel like Halloween Ends is going to be good, but definitely not. I feel like Halloween 2018 still, I'm still going to like that movie better than Ends and Kills, but we'll have to see. Stranger Things 4 was amazing. Fuck yeah, it was. Oh, I loved it. Oh, and Ronnie has been saying hi to me for a while. So hi, Ronnie. Welcome to the stream. We're vibing. We're fucking vibing tonight. We are absolutely vibing, but talking a little more about Stranger Things 4. So I feel like because of the length of this season of television, it's different than a movie, right? You can sit down and watch a movie in one sitting. 7.5 hours of Stranger Things is totally different. Like that, some people maybe watched half of it. Some people haven't even seen it yet. Some people haven't had time to do it. And that's totally understandable. So, With 4, what I'll say, still non-spoilery, I'll have a review of it tomorrow morning, as well as a review of Dashcam and a Scream video, if I can get to it, hopefully. But with season 4, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's the best season of Stranger Things so far, honestly, even with everything. I love season 3. I think season 3 is fucking masterful in everything it does, tone-wise. I love Robin. Robin is such a great new character, and I think she's even better in this season. Just, it's amazing. The Dear Billy episode is, I won't talk any more about that, but that might be the best episode of the whole show. That might be like that might be the best episode, as well as the last episode of Volume 1 is also just amazing. I mean, the way it ends is just, oh God, it's fucking great. It's fucking great. Like, it's all been set up for it to be this way. And I love what they did with literally everything. I mean, literally everything I think was just really well done. And I can't spoil anything, but how they explain Vecna, which I won't talk about anymore, even though it's not the way I wanted it to be. It's as close as you could possibly get to what I wanted without it actually being that. And for that reason, I'm okay with it. That's why I'm like, okay, whatever. It's fucking fantastic. It's so good. It's so good. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, it's definitely my favorite season. Holy shit, it's Ghostface!
Holy shit, it's Ghostface!
Oh my God, Ghostface, what's going on? Welcome. What else do we got here? What else do we got? I heard Robert Englund was in Stranger Things. Yes. So something I can say, which definitely is not definitely not a spoiler at this point. Come on. I mean, with everything we know about Stranger Things season 4, Robert Englund is in the show. I won't say at what capacity, because that's something else I want to go on an absolute fucking tirade on in my review. But Stranger Things season 4 is so inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, the Duffer Brothers basically made a fucking requel to it and fit that perfectly into the story of season 4. Maybe that was the plan from the beginning. Maybe it was, but to me, it almost felt like they're like, why is there no Nightmare on Elm Street requel? Why is that not a thing? Let's just do it. Fuck it. Let's just go for it. Oh my God. I mean, man, I felt like there was moments in that show where I'm like, I'm watching a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie. This is fucking great. This is awesome. I didn't realize how much I wanted the Nightmare requel until I saw that. Like, I think I might have to make a whole video talking about what I want from a Nightmare requel, who I want to play Freddy, who needs to direct it, who needs to write it. I would love to talk about that. Like after that, I have the juices flowing in my head. Like obviously I've wanted that for a long time, but now after watching that, I'm just like, wow, I need to talk about that. I didn't realize how much I needed a new Nightmare on Elm Street film until I watched that. So great stuff. I just finished Stranger Things first half of 4 and I thought it was the best so far. Horror routes they took was incredible. Yes. Yeah, no, it's definitely the most horror inspired season. Like that's what I liked so much about season 3 was that it kind of season 1 and season 2 are storyline kind of the same thing, right? Like season 2 kind of is a similar, like everyone kind of has a similar route that they follow with that they did in season 1. Like Joy Spires, for example, pretty much does the same thing in the second season. Third season, everything changes up again, which I think is really interesting in a way where it gets darker for like every character. And I really appreciated about that. They really leaned more into their horror, the horror element that they had so vaguely set up in the first 2 seasons. I like how they leaned into that a little more. And now in this is a full on shove into horror with this new season. It's definitely the scariest and most and craziest season so far. And I love it. But it still feels like Stranger Things at the end of the day too. They don't lose that. Like nothing about this. You would think having that big gap between season 1 and season 4, like maybe it starts to feel like a different show. It never feels like it, even though it's so much more horror themed. It never feels like it's not Stranger Things. Not one time in any episode, like through season 1 through season 4, volume 1, it never feels like it's not Stranger Things anymore. So that I couldn't respect that anymore with that new season. It's like you've been changing it up so much with the past 2 seasons, and yet it still feels like it all connects. It still feels like it's the same show. That is so impressive from a writing standpoint. And man, the Duffer Brothers just, they killed it. They killed it with this latest season. They are killing it. And I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait for volume 2. It's going to be awesome. And speaking of directors that I'm going to put on that list, Mike Flanagan might be at the top. Mike Flanagan doing a Nightmare requel would be insane. I would lose my ever loving mind. I'm trying not to swear as much because I'm already getting called out for it. But when I get excited, the fucks and the shits get out. You know, I can't help it. I can't help it. You convinced me to check out Stranger Things now by just the words Nightmare requel. That's basically what it is. I mean, it's crazy, but you have to check. Listen, even if you hate Stranger Things, if you're like, I fucking hate Stranger Things, it's the worst show. Like, whatever. If that's your opinion, that's fine. Whatever. If you don't like it. But if you like A Nightmare on Elm Street, you should watch this new season just for that. Like, I couldn't stress that enough. Even if you have no idea what's going on, it's still super exciting. I wish Radio Silence would have kept Wes Hicks and Vince around way longer in Scream 2022. You know, Hawkins, here's what I'll say about that. What that I think is interesting. With Wes and Vince, they set up a lot of character stuff that really didn't go anywhere, like at all. So I agree. I feel like maybe not keeping them in as long was the answer. I feel like maybe the answer was making the exposition scenes a little longer. That would have made more sense. Like maybe have the movie be, what is it? Like 2 hours long, the movie? Maybe have it be like 2 hours 15, 2 hours and 30 minutes. I would have sat through it. I think that would have been awesome. If you would have just had a little more, like showed me some connection between like Liv and Vince. Show me their backstory and let me understand that a little bit. Make Vince a bigger red herring than he was. Like they definitely tried to set him up as a red herring and he dies way too quick for it to even matter. It's not even a red herring at that point. With Wes Hicks, they kind of set him up as being like this quirky love interest to Tara, which also doesn't go anywhere and doesn't fuel anything for the plot. It's almost like they had another script where maybe that had gone somewhere. But here's the thing, like all I'm asking for is like, what if there was a sequence where it's like maybe you set that up, right? You set that up that like, oh, Wes is super into Tara and all that. And he's trying to get with her and it's just not going. Tara's just not vibing with him, you know, for whatever, you know, whatever. You could set that up, but maybe Wes gets a call, right? And it's from Tara and he's like, oh my God, Tara, oh my God, the girl of my dreams. Let's go. Answers it. And then he answers it and it's like, hello, Wes. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that would have been perfect. That's all that could have set up that. That's all. I just wanted a punch. You gave me setup for so much and never gave me a big punch in the face for anything that you set up in Scream. Not anything. That's not fair. But for half the shit you set up in Scream 5, there really wasn't a punch to it. So I think I think that's my problem with it. That's the biggest thing. They should have had more bigger punches with some of their stuff. How do you feel if Ends has a bad ending? Well, John Smith, I mean, that's I think it's all there. I think it's all there in the sentence you just put out there. It would be bad. It would be bad. That's the most important part of it to me. You don't know. Actually, the most important part of Ends to me is how they approach the scares, how they approach scaring people in this next film. That's the biggest thing that needs to change, that needs to be done differently because of how brutal things. You took me from like an 8 out of 10 horror wise in 2018, right? But then you jacked it up to like an 11 in Halloween Kills with the brutality, the how visceral it was and all that. Now, where do you can't go? So you've hit the ceiling at this point with the brutality. Where do you go now in Halloween Ends to keep it fresh, to keep it original, to keep it like, oh, okay, cool. Like, this is fun. This is still good. I say you go back to the original. I love when things at the very beginning end the same way. Like it ends the same way it began. So let's scare people like how we did in 1978, where we have Michael Myers stalking Laurie. But in this case, it's totally different because of everything we've seen in the 2018 film and Halloween Kills. Now you have a Laurie Strode who maybe has gotten over some of it. Maybe she's actually gone to therapy. She's actually like gone to work on herself, to work on the fact that's like, I've been dealing with this trauma my whole life. Like I gotta get over this, or I'm just the rest of my life is just going to be freaking out about that. And what I think would be so much more interesting with this next film is like, maybe she's recovering, she goes to and sees a therapist every single week. Maybe she's married to the sheriff, to Frank, and she lives a nice life and all that. But now suddenly out of nowhere, she's starting to see visions of Michael Myers. Is it visions, or is Michael really back? You see like a parallel shot to the bush scene from the original where he's like standing outside the bush, but it's a completely different scene because of where you are now in the story, because you're at the end of the story opposed to the beginning. You can do similar scenes like that, but it all has a different vibe because of how far you've come story-wise. So I hope that's what they do with Ends. I hope they give us the stalker version of Michael opposed to just the brutal killer that we've seen in the last two films, which, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed, but now you can't really go any farther up than Halloween Kills with the brutality. You really can't. So the only other way to go is down. And don't give me just the same thing you gave me in 2018. Give me something different. Give me something new. Give me Michael Myers stalking people and killing them, like how he did in that original film. That to me would just be so much more interesting based off of everything we've had set up throughout these last two films, arguably three if you count 78. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Do you want them to kill another legacy character in 6? Whew, Spinks. That's a hot take question right there. And listen, I've really changed my mind on the whole Dewey situation. I've really been back and forth on that. Maybe it's because I'm getting impatient because of there's been really no Scream 6 news. I don't know. I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm suddenly starting to feel like Dewey's death isn't going to go anywhere in the next film, which is a big problem for me. I really need that to go somewhere. I need to see that actually do something in Scream 6, because if it doesn't, why did they kill Dewey? Like, just for shock value? That's not good. Sorry, that's not good enough for me. Scream 6 is known for its legacy characters. No, Scream in general is known for its legacy characters. What other slasher movie series can you find out there where they've kept 3 characters alive throughout 4 movies? I really can't think of that many. It's usually maybe like a final girl who survives and goes on to kill other people. That's cool. You could also, maybe if you're a deep cut horror fan who's seen like a shit ton of weird movies, you could talk about Phantasm, but that's not exactly why those movies are popular. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they kept a lot of characters alive throughout them. The characters constantly changed throughout the sequels, but the point I'm trying to say is with this series, what makes it so different, what makes it so special is it's presented to you like just another straight up slasher horror film, but it's done so differently because it has this great character development, unlike a whole lot of other slashers. It also has meta commentary on the slasher genre itself, or just the horror genre itself, which is so different, so interesting. Killing Dewey to me you had like I'm totally down to kill a legacy character like Dewey if it has a purpose. But if that was just for shock value, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed in a Scream 6 where that whole idea goes nowhere with Dewey. Like, I need that to go somewhere. I really need that. I need that to go somewhere because you're sacrificing something that's so great about Scream for something. Right? Like, Radio Silence, please tell me, what are you sacrificing one of the coolest things about Scream for your next film? That's what I want to see. I'm sure that's going to be the case in the next film. I'm not shit talking Radio Silence. I'm really not. I love their movies. I love all their movies, but it's got to go somewhere. It's got to go somewhere where it's like, hey, this was all, don't worry, this is all set up for this that happens in the next film, where our legacy, it affects Gail's story. Obviously it has to. But they have to put a big focus on that, or maybe they just killed Dewey for shock value. And to me, that's a little too easy. That's a little too easy to take that route. So hopefully we see something affecting Gail's character, where it's like maybe Gail is struggling with his death and all that. She doesn't know how to cope, although she also hasn't been with him for like a long time. I don't know. We have to see where it goes in the next film. Hopefully it's something important. Hopefully it's something that actually affects the storyline of this new trilogy, question mark, Radio Silence. They're keeping a lot of things under wraps. So I want to see where it goes. It's got to be something with Gail, I think, for sure. It has to affect Gail's storyline. So SpongeBob is great. SpongeBob is great. I love SpongeBob. Oh, should I show that on stream, or is that a spoiler? No, I'm not going to okay, I'm not going to show that on stream because it's kind of a spoiler. But we have something in Red Right Hand that's a huge... there's multiple things in Red Right Hand that are references to SpongeBob. And you might be like, what the fuck? Jake, what are you talking about? How are you going to reference SpongeBob? Trust me. All I'm going to say is trust me. That's all I'm going to say. We have multiple little things happening. Izzy with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Izzy. I appreciate that. I hope Halloween Ends is more contained and smaller than Halloween Kills. And I feel like that whole idea of a contained story goes hand in hand with my idea of it's not really my idea, let's be honest, with going back to the original way of how they presented Michael in the 1978 film. It was a more contained and smaller story than Halloween, especially Halloween Kills. Like, Halloween 2018 was still kind of a contained story. You had the town element there, but it was much more bigger in Halloween Kills. To me, that was like the Empire Strikes Back of this whole franchise. We now need to go into some smaller territory with this next film to bring the horror element back. Because if you just do the same thing, if you just do the same thing that you did in Halloween Kills with Halloween Ends, where it's like brutality to all the way to 11, I've already seen that in the last film. You're giving me the same thing in the next film. Give me something different. Give me something completely different with this next film. And if you want to make it all connect, if you want to make this feel like one big story, the 78 film, 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, bring it back to the original, baby. It's not too hard to do that, I don't think. Make Halloween Ends similar to Halloween 78 in that way. Have Laurie Strode see herself getting stalked by Michael Myers, and like you could do similar scenes from Halloween 78, but in a way that is so much more different because of everything that's been set up in the 2018 and the Kills film. So I want to see that. Like, give me a scene where it's Laurie and she's walking down with Hawkins, you know, like they're walking down, they're strolling, everything's fine, and they see fucking Michael Myers standing behind a bush somewhere, and Laurie starts pointing and crying and breaking down and freaking the fuck out. Hawkins runs and goes and like busts over. He's like running as fast as he can. He pulls out a gun, maybe, I don't know, something. He's looking around. Michael's gone. Like, there's just no Michael. Then they get back to their house. Laurie looks out the window and there's some bed sheets out there, of course. And then Michael's just standing there. What the fuck? Holy shit. They go out there, they look, no one's there. Hawkins thinks she's like, Hawkins actually gets frustrated with Laurie a little bit, like saying like, oh my God, like, Laurie, you gotta listen. I understand you're struggling with this, but like, you gotta stop. You can't have me running out here every single time you think you see something. And like, that could be like kind of a couple struggle between them or something along those lines. And then like it resolves, you know, everything's fine. It doesn't go anywhere that big, but give me like, think about how much more impact. Like, I know you can take that at face value and just be like, well, Jake, that's just copying exactly what they did from the 78 film. But no, it's because they're doing it in the same way that they did in the 78 film. And they set up everything in the everything that's happened in the past 40 years between 78 and 2018. it's so much more different because of that, because of Laurie's new situation, her new life and all that. It's completely different, and that's why it would be so cool. It's not only a reference to the original film, it's also something that shows character development for Laurie Strode in a way that would be perfect to end the timeline with, I think. I don't know. That's really my opinion on it. I think that would be fucking sick. Oh, Bobby's Breakdown with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Bobby. Bobby's fucking awesome. Let's go. Scream 6 needs to be pushed back. Gasp. I'll be in Cali that weekend for WrestleMania, and I need to see it opening night. So everybody, tell the studio. All right, everybody, let's boycott. Let's boycott Radio Silence. Tell them we're not going there the first weekend because Bobby needs to be there for the first night. Everybody, no, I kid, of course. But Bobby, listen, if I hope you're somehow able to see it opening weekend at least. I know some places have early Thursday showings too, so maybe if you're gonna be there Friday, you can see it the night before. It's just an idea, I don't know, but hopefully you get to see it. I really hope you get to see it as soon as everyone else does, because man, that is a movie you don't want to get spoiled. The new Scream film, you got it. Like, it's tough because like some people will just go online and just be like, oh, hey, did you see when Sydney died in Scream 6? Fucking crazy. Like, that's something I really put a focus on. That's hard to do with a channel like this, where it's like, you know, I want to talk about all this shit. I want to talk about like, oh, the new movie. I want to talk about spoilers. I want to give you my take on like, oh, what did they do? What they did here was interesting. What they did here, I hated. You know what I mean? You want to be able to talk about that kind of stuff, but you also don't want to spoil a movie where like some of the biggest things from it are things that could easily get spoiled. Like opening scene and who the killer reveal. Those are the two things you just don't want to know before you go into a film like this. So I'm going to do my absolute best for things not to get spoiled this time around. So I remember I turned off all my comments on specifically my Scream videos like a month before it even came out. I really didn't want anyone to get spoiled. I'm super serious about that on this page. No one's getting spoiled on shit. No, not happening. Not happening over here. No way. Can you start twerking? I'll think about it. I will absolutely. I will consider it. I'm going to ask my PR team if that's a good idea. Oh man, twerking on camera, Jake, might actually lead to more channel members. So you should probably do that. I kid, of course. I am seeing The Sadness in 20 minutes. Anything to look out for? Well, what I'll say, Easton, is with The Sadness. I did a review of it for my channel members and Patreon supporters, by the way. I know you're like, Jesus Christ, Jake, shut up about that. But I did a review of it. I had some interesting things to say. Don't go into that film if you're like feeling kind of queasy or feeling kind of upset in the stomach and all that. Maybe that would be my advice. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to spoil anything with that movie. I think the first 40 minutes of that movie is fantastic. And I won't say anything else about the ending for if you haven't seen it. So that's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say for now. Oh, man. Interesting. Most messed up ending in horror movies. I say The Mist. Ooh. Well, that's a fucking great choice right there. The Mist has one of the most upsetting endings ever. And I think the other reason why it moves up on my list of like top 10 most disturbing endings is because that's not how the book ends. The book has a pretty happy, like relatively happy ending. It's much more ambiguous. You kind of just end with like all the characters driving off into the mist, and it's just ambiguous. They get away, but their fates are kind of unknown for the most part. They could get stomped by a giant monster in the next scene, honestly, for all you know, but it's a pretty ambiguous ending for the most part. The fact that in The Mist, they ended it in the most, oh my God, like the most upsetting way possible. And I'm sorry if you haven't seen this. If you haven't seen The Mist, go watch that. Go. I don't even care. I know this is like totally like this is going to go against my stream, but like go watch that before I talk about this, before you hear me talk about it. The ending of The Mist is fucking awesome for making one big change about it from the source material, because for the most part, it's pretty damn close to the book for the most part. But I think the biggest thing they changed, obviously, is how they end it. And it's like so upsetting. It's so messed up. I love it. I love it. Like personally, I absolutely, it's one of my favorite endings to any horror film ever. Honestly, I'm a sucker for a bad ending like that. By bad, I mean where it just doesn't work out for the characters. I'm a sucker for that. I love it. I love it so much. Ugh. Only if it's set up correctly though. Like they set it up correctly in The Mist. I think they really did it right. You can have a bad ending as long as you set it up correctly and as long as you always make it seem like, yeah, no, it was definitely always going that way, but like give your characters hope too. A bad ending is really hard to accomplish correctly because I think Hereditary and The Mist do it the absolute. Hereditary does it the best, honestly, but the Mist does it pretty well too. Hereditary sets it up perfectly. Like there's little inklings and clues throughout to give you that idea like, yeah, no, this isn't going to end well. Like, just so you know, there's little clues like that throughout. Like they quote, there's a quote that they're talking about in the classroom with what the Naked Brothers band kid or whatever his name is, Alex Wolf. When Alex Wolf is in class, they're talking about a quote from something like some old piece of literature. I can't remember specifically what it was, but they talk about how it's like you just have to, when you know something's going to end bad, you just have to accept your fate and all that. I'm paraphrasing, but from that point, it's like that's a clue as to how this thing is going to end for Alex Wolf's character specifically. And man, I mean, it's done so well. It's just a little thing. You blink. If you're not listening, if you're not paying attention during the scene, that seems remedial, that seeps oblivious. That doesn't seem like it's like, oh yeah, no, this doesn't really go in. This doesn't mean anything, but it does. Oh, every little bit and piece of that movie means something later on down the line. And another thing, just a little quick rant about Hereditary. If you're listen, this is totally fine. You know, everyone's allowed to have opinions on movies. That's totally whatever. If you're in the boat where, like my friend Christian, who I love so much, my buddy Christian, who's working on this movie with me, hates Hereditary, just not a fan of it. He's like, there's no reason for that ending to be paranormal and go supernatural and all that. And I'm like, dude, it's set up the whole movie. Like, the whole movie sets it up for that to happen. And something supernatural happens within the first 5 minutes. That's the other, it was always going to be a supernatural, paranormal kind of film like that. It's just not done in the same sort of way as like Paranormal Activity or Amityville Horror. It's just done in a more art housey kind of way. So, man, I don't know. I just think it's my favorite horror film. It's really just one of the best. It's one of the best movies ever made. It really is. Fight me. Fight me, internet. Cody Lester says, great stream, Jake. Thank you. I appreciate that. I would like to see Sheriff Barker have some character development and or a more prominent role in Halloween Ends. Now, remind me, is Sheriff Barker's the dude with the hat that's in both the movies, right? That's who we're talking about, correct? Ooh. I'm like 90% sure that's who it is, but I could be wrong. Yes. Okay, yeah, Sheriff Barker. Yeah. No, I could not agree more with this. Like he's briefly in the 2018 film. He's also, he has a more prominent role in Kills, but I totally agree. I want to see some more character development with this character. He's great in every scene he's in. He's like, he just gives a great performance, I think. So we just haven't seen too much of him for me to really judge his character. I hope we get some more of him. He's great. I think he's awesome. So I couldn't agree more. I think he's a really interesting, he really grabs your eye too. The cowboy hat's kind of strange, but it's symbolic. It works really well with the character. I'm excited to see what they do with it. So, Tracy, what do I think of Midsommar? This is interesting. I definitely like Hereditary more, but I love Midsommar. I've seen Midsommar maybe 25, 30 times because I feel like it's the perfect movie to get people into indie art house kind of flicks of the modern age. It's easily the most digestible film of those kind of movies. I think that's why I've seen it so many. Everyone who's oh, I want to get into some weirder horror movies. Every time I'm like, watch Midsommar. That is the perfect movie to start you off into all that. Because you have characters who are pretty relatable. It's not the craziest storyline to try to follow. But to me, I've seen it so many times to the point where I could almost quote it line by line if we're watching that movie. And I'm just I've seen it I've seen it so many times it's almost ruined for me. Not really. I still think it's an amazing fucking film too. Don't get me wrong. It has Ari Aster's fingerprints all over it, which I just love everything he does. His approach to filmmaking is just so wildly different than anything I've ever seen. And I love it. But with Midsommar, I'm kind of burnt out on it a little bit. Like I said, perfect movie to introduce people to that kind of genre. I've just seen it so many times. I haven't seen Hereditary that many. I've seen it Hereditary probably about like 15, 20 times because it's a heavy film. Like, it's not something you can just put on and relax watching. I mean, you watch a mother for a very long sequence, a very horrific montage, wail over her child's death, which is one of the most upsetting things I think I've ever seen on film. So it's not exactly the most digestible watch. Neither is Midsommar, but it's definitely a movie you can follow more than some of the more like in-depth weirder stuff like Climax, like Possessor, The Lodge, The Witch, especially The Witch. To get into those kind of, you can't just like someone who's never seen a movie like that, you can't just throw on The Witch, you know what I mean? And be like, oh, this is great, you're gonna love this. Like, they're probably not gonna love that if they're not familiar with that kind of genre. So it's not an easy thing to get into because of how you really have to focus all the concepts, the themes, and all that. It's a little heavier of a watch than some other stuff, I guess. Are you excited for The Black Phone? Fuck yes. Oh my God, I can't. That's probably going to be one of my favorite horror films of the entire year. I'm super pumped for The Black Phone. I'm excited for it because it's Scott Derrickson's and Robert Cargill. Is that his name? It's their return to horror. So, I'm really excited for it. Did we permanently remove somebody? What's going on? That is why I didn't remove him permanently. Oh, we put someone in timeout. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, if you're doing something my mods don't like I'll say this, we're gonna send you a copy.
I'll send you a copy.
So don't do that. don't be weird in the stream, I guess. I'm sure whatever it was, my mods had a good reason for it. So that's what I have to say. I trust my wonderful mods, so they're great. What else do we got? What else do we got here? But Black Phone. Let's keep it rolling on the Black Phone because I don't get to talk about that too much. I feel like now I'm going to be able to, now that more people are seeing advertisements for it, which is always, I love when I start to see more advertisements for movies I've been excited for like a year, because now I can actually talk about it. More people are excited for it, which is great. My thing about it was I posted a video maybe back in January, I want to say, about it, and like they weren't advertising it because I think they knew they were gonna have to push it back to June at that point, but because it was supposed to come out in early February, February 4th actually. I actually have the discontinued poster where it says, "Oh, in theaters February 4th." This is going to be a much better summer movie anyways, I feel like, so I'm kind of glad it's coming out like now-ish. What is it, like the 24th, I believe? Yeah, June 24th it comes out. So I think that works a lot better. This is a really big movie. Like, this is not, listen, yeah, sure, it's an adaptation of a Joe Hill story, which is like, okay, cool, that's really great. And it's the first time Joe Hill has gotten a movie where it was like, actually has a big budget, opposed to Horns, which was fine. It was okay. Like, it wasn't great. I think Horns is Horns isn't the best story, but you could have made a better movie adaptation of it. Although I will say Harry Potter's in the lead role, Daniel Radcliffe, and he's great. But script is okay. I'm not crazy about that story either. What's the Heart-Shaped Box is my favorite Joe Hill thing. But with this one, this is the first movie adaptation of one of his works where it's like big budget. People are really excited for it. It's coming from a big studio like Blumhouse. This is a really big deal. This is a big deal for Joe Hill and the future of adapting his stories, which is a big deal for me personally because I fucking love one of his stories called Heart-Shaped Box. I think that competes with any of the best Stephen King stories in my opinion. It is just a great ghost story from beginning to the end and has one of the coolest third acts and main characters of any story from the Hills or the Kings. So I'm very excited for a movie adaptation of that. I really hope that's going to be the case. Is it a big budget? Well, Fritz, yeah. I mean, it's got Ethan Hawke and like a bunch of other huge. I don't even know the budget, but like I'm telling you, it's gotta be bigger budget than that Horns movie I saw, which could barely even afford CGI for some of its scenes. Let's look this up though. I'm curious. Black Phone. Let's just look at Black Phone. Let's just look at Black Phone. So it's got to have a bigger, but it's from Blumhouse. Budget's almost 20 million, so 18.8 million. Yeah, that's bigger than that has to be bigger than fucking Horns, man. Like Horns was okay, but it looked really low budget. It looked very, very, very low budget. So I'm curious about that. So box office, it made 3 million. It was directed by Alexander Aja, though, which is like, I love him as a director, but that movie was like literally just okay. I'm curious about the budget though. What is the budget for this? Could not have been much. Let's see. No budget is listed. Interesting. They don't have that on Wikipedia, man. I know Wikipedia is not the most reliable source, but they're pretty fucking close with things. So, worldwide box office. I've got to find this now. I know some people are like, I don't care, Jake. I'm like, but trust me, we gotta find this out. We gotta figure this shit out. Well, if I can find it in like 2 seconds, I don't care. But I'm sure it had like $5 million was probably the budget. $5 million, $10 million. I doubt it was 10 million. Doubt it was even close to that. But yeah, no, this is definitely a bigger budget movie. So. And no, Fritz, you're right. You're absolutely right. You don't need a lot of money to make a good film. You're right. But when it's coming from a story like this, where it's like it's the son of Stephen King, like you should throw a lot of money at one of these stories for sure, because I think a lot of it's pretty good. A lot of his stories are pretty good, but I think with this, you need to throw a bigger budget at it. They do a lot of like very fantastical things that you just can't do practically. I read the Black Phone story. It's part of his 20th Century Ghosts collection, I believe. And it's been a while since I read it, but there's a lot of fantastical stuff in his and King's works that you just can't do on a low budget. And Horns is a perfect example of that. Now, I haven't watched all of Nosferatu, which is one of his other, like it's a series that has the guy that plays Spock in the new Star Trek movies, and I hear that's pretty decent. Pretty decent. I watched like 2 episodes of it, and it was okay. It was fine. Also, not my favorite story from him, but I remember really liking 20th Century Ghost, and I fucking loved Heart Shaped Box. So I'm really hoping this movie's badass, so that Heart Shaped Box gets developed, gets a big budget, and maybe even Blumhouse does it. That would be awesome. I'd be so down for that. So if you're really into reading and all that, definitely check out Heart Shaped Box. It's a fantastic novel. I love it from beginning to end. So, what else we got here? What have we not talked? We haven't talked a whole lot about Nope. So let's talk a little bit about that. What do you think of Kiki's role in Nope? Well, it kind of seems like Keke Palmer is going to be almost like the star of it if Daniel Kaluuya is not. It kind of seems like she's going to be like the focal point, which I'm totally down for that. That sounds awesome. Keke Palmer is fucking fantastic. So, What happens in this movie? I haven't talked about this. It's been a minute since I talked about Nope, so this is exciting. I'm pumped for the film because I think it's going to be a whole new take on aliens, obviously implementing some social commentary, which I know not everyone likes, but it's a Jordan Peele film. That's kind of his signature, right? Like, what if he made a movie that wasn't social commentary themed? That'd be kind of weird, I feel like. And we've had some rumors going around lately that from like months ago that apparently there's just been like there was some test screening and some people were kind of like, yeah, it was good, but it didn't have Jordan Peele's like signature commentary. It didn't. I just don't believe that. I'm going to be honest. I just don't think he would make a movie where it was like, oh, there's no social, it's just a straight up alien flick. I just feel like that's not on brand for him, I'm down for people changing up their style a little bit, but I just don't know if that's on brand for Jordan Peele. I'm excited, regardless, I'm excited for Nope. I really think it's going to be one of his best, hopefully one of his best movies. I fucking loved Us and Get Out. I think both of those are just amazing horror flicks. So I can't wait to see what they do. Do you think Kiki could be a final girl? Because I've been trying to make some theories about it. I don't really know if this is going to be a movie that follows tropes like that. Like, I feel like we're going to have a lot of people surviving until the end. I would bet like a shit ton of money that Steven Yeun's character is not making it to the end of this, though. He really looks like he's going to be a bad guy. Like, from the very little things we've seen of him in the trailer and all that. Because there's 2 things. One, we don't see a whole lot of him in the trailer, or we haven't seen a whole lot of set photos with him and the rest of the gang. So something tells me he's a goner. But I feel like Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer's character are going to be like the main people that make it throughout the whole film. That are there. I believe they're brother and sister. Is that what I was reading about beforehand in the film? So I feel like they're definitely making it through this film, and there's much more to these characters than just the simple horse ranchers that we think they are. There's a lot more to them than just that. So It's going to be more than just your straight up like, oh, alien comes and picks up some horses and feeds off of them. It's definitely a little more than that. So we're going to see. We are going to see, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with it all. I believe in my last note video, I also talked about the significance of horses in that movie. I think I had pretty solid theory on it too. So if you guys are like, what the fuck is up with all the what's up with all the horses? Like what's going on with that? Why are there horses in this movie? I talk a little bit about that. I had a pretty good theory on that in my latest Nope video, but before the trailer, where I was talking about the second trailer coming out sometime soon. So check that out. Check that out. Do you have any other ideas for other films you would like to write, direct, etc. after Red Right Hand? Yes, 100% yes. So I wanted to, with a lot of film, I kind of took the same approach that Radio Silence took with Scream 5 with this film. I wanted to do something that could not only get a lot of people's attention, but do something different with a familiar IP. That was kind of the whole idea with Red Right Hand was I love Scream, but I really want them to go in a whole new direction. That's kind of like my take on it is it's like, I like the Scream movies. I think they're great, but they really kind of do the same thing every single movie. And I want them to do something wildly different with that same concept because it's a pretty broad concept. Like it's not the craziest, you really don't have to follow that structure with every single movie. I really don't think so. So the whole experiment behind Red Right Hand is that you can do a Scream film with a ghost face killer, you can have meta commentary, and you can have a murder mystery, but you don't have to structure it in the same way that a Scream film does. We've seen 5 movies now with the same structure essentially, and I just wanted to do something different with the same idea. So that's what we're doing with Red Right Hand. I want to get my foot in the door with that film, and I think it's going to be great. But in the future, I want to make some more films. I'm completely broke, and making movies costs a lot of money. Like I'm probably going to dip into my own money with this film, even though we have that budget. It's just, it's just something that comes with the territory, I guess. You need money to make movies. That's just everyone would be making movies if we could just do it. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, I would like to do an original project sometime in the future. It might not come out next year. It might not come out tomorrow, but it's hopefully sometime soon. You'll see. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say anything about my ideas, but I have three like outlines written out right now that I could develop into a script in the next 2 weeks, honestly. So that's all I'll say. That's all I will say. Apollo, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Apollo. Thank you. Dr. Loomis said Michael hasn't spoken a word in 15 years. Do you think Michael said something to his parents after he killed Judith? Thanks. Great question, Apollo. That's really interesting. To me, how I always took that scene, because he was so quiet, I feel like maybe you had Michael being a little bit of a chatterbox before that. Sure, maybe he's running around your normal kid essentially, but then this evil something overcomes him at some point before he kills. Because I feel like even as a child, you don't necessarily just choose to kill your sister. Like something happened to provoke that. If it was just, what's interesting about the character to me is that I don't ever want to learn about that. I want to just constantly be able to theorize about it, to talk about it, to be like, hey, this could have been what happened, but I don't ever want to get the answer to that question. What made him start killing, whatever that was. I never want to see that, because that's what's so interesting about the character of Michael to me. But my take on it is that I feel like the moment he killed Judith, he's never spoken a word again. That was his first kill. And I feel like he just kind of stood there with the knife in his hands until his parents had to rip it out of his hands and take him inside, call the police, and be like, and find their dead daughter upstairs. I genuinely think from that point on, I don't think he said anything. I don't think he said a word canonically throughout the entire thing, because it's just like he transformed. He transcended into something much more darker and more evil. So that's what's so interesting about the character to me. That's kind of my headcanon, but really anyone can have a different take on it, I think. It's up to interpretation from anybody, and that is what's so interesting about the Halloween franchise to me, which is something I really hope they don't go too overboard with in ends. I hope they don't try to over-explain things in ends. I hope they just keep it vague, but end it. And you can do that. I don't think that would be too difficult to go about that. I was rewatching Halloween Kills and just realized that they used footage from Halloween 2. Oh, Do they use footage of Lori in the hospital, or am I wrong about that? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I couldn't be honest. I'll be honest, yeah, I don't really know if they did use that or not, but I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure about that. Can't wait to see what kind of music Scream 6 is going to have. Yes, music is such an important thing about Scream 2, about all the Scream films. So, and I know I was getting some really good questions about Red Right Hand earlier. So to harp on this a little bit, Austin Daniels, I know I said this already, but how long will Red Right Hand be? 90 minutes, baby. It's going to be a full ass movie. It's going to be awesome too. And we are taking a lot of, there's going to be a lot of focus on the soundtrack, the score and all that. I'm taking things from all the movies that I really like, and we're fitting them all into Red Right Hand. Like there's this little piano score, like this little, like just little motif that plays in the original that really isn't, I don't think is in any of the other films, where it's like this da 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 da, like it's just this little tiny thing, and it's just so spooky. They played on a piano, like a grand piano sounding thing, and it's fucking great. Like they play it when you see Sidney Prescott in her classroom, where she's sitting next to an empty seat where Casey Becker presumably sat, and she's just staring at it, like coming to terms with what's happening in her town. And that to me it's just so emotional and builds up something really special. So I have a few places where I want to use little motifs like that throughout our film that I think is going to be really fun. So I love that first Scream movie is just so fucking good. God, the way they do little nuances like that is what makes a film for me personally. When you have that little taste of style and all that, it's just, it's great. It's great. It's great stuff. Oh man. What is the scariest movie you ever watched? The movie that affected me the most was probably Hereditary. Really affected me. Like that really upset me, especially because just the terror of like something that's totally out of your control, and something that's like from your family, giving you like a curse essentially is the concept of that movie. That's really fucking scary to me. That's something that terrifies me to my core, is like when something's just out of your control, there's nothing you can do about the situation. You're kind of just screwed, and you don't realize that until it's too late. Hereditary sets that up better than any movie I've ever seen, I think. I don't know. I couldn't be more happy with the way that movie goes. So theory on the radio tower in Halloween Ends. I really think people are looking into that a little too much. I feel like people are looking into the whole radio tower theory a little more than what they think. I don't think it's going to be like this massive thing that explains Michael, but I think it is going to be maybe a plot point or something that has to do with a new character in Halloween Ends. I don't think it's going to be like not going to be the most important thing ever for the film, but it's going to be something cool. It's going to be something sick. Is gore important to you? Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. Gore, listen, if there's anything I feel strongly about with the Scream movies is that it needs a little more gore. It could use it. Listen, I'm sorry, I keep bringing it back to Red Right Hand, but like there's going to be some gory fucking kills in the film. That's all I'm going to say. And that's something missing from a lot of slasher films, in my opinion, is gore. Like, it's not even that hard of a thing to do. Just buy some fucking pig guts or something at the butcher store, just throw them on somebody's chest. How hard, or abdomen, I mean, how hard is that to do? How hard is that to bloody someone up? And not that crazy. If you're working with like $1 million budget with some of these big slasher films, like, damn. And no gore, like, come on, like that's what I'm here to see, baby. Let's go. So I'm really hoping with the next Scream film, and you will definitely see it in Red Right Hand, some gore, some fucked up gore, man. That's what I want. I love that in Scream 5 we probably had the goriest Scream film ever, which I think was great, but it was good. But it was good. Let's see some more of that in Scream 6 is what I say. Push that envelope even further. See what happens. I hope you have the best kill in Red Right Hand. If not, I'm going to be disappointed. No comment. No comment. No comment on that. I know I can't be the only one who is wondering, but it's like, how many Scream movies are they going to make and come out with? It's just a concerning thing. Let me ask you this, Jeff. Why is that like, if you didn't like the last couple of movies, that's totally fine. That's your opinion on it. however you feel about it, it's totally fine. But to me, if something is hot and if something is making money, a lot of people are clearly enjoying it. So like, if they put out a movie that wasn't making a whole lot of money, and like if it came out, maybe, you know, if I liked it, for instance, but it just bombed at the box office, well, I can understand not making another movie. I would want another one, but if they didn't do it, it would be understandable. But to me, I mean, this last movie made a shit ton of money. So to me, it's like, I think people want more Scream films. So let's go for it. I think the last one was great. So it's such a malleable idea too. There's so much you can do with that we really haven't explored yet. Even though there's been 5 movies, there's so many different concepts we can go down with a new Scream film. There's a lot. There could be 10 more Scream movies, in my opinion. Honestly, it's not the most difficult franchise to make sequels for. I really don't think so. Carter Scotland Allen with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Carter. I appreciate that. Have you seen The Sadness? Talk about gore. Gross. Yeah. Oh, that movie was gross, man. That movie's fucking disgusting. And I loved it for the first 40 minutes, but this is definitely an example of when you push the envelope a little too far, because that definitely exists for sure. This one went a little too far at certain points. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. The eye scene still upsets me. God damn, Jesus. That is some unholy, that's some unholy stuff going on. I mean, like, you know, some people hear that and they're like, you're complaining about gore in a film, Jake? That's insane. But it's the way they go about the eye scene that I don't necessarily love. So I think senseless gore with absolutely no point to it, that's just all over the place, it loses its value to a point. It's like, gore to me is like eating a piece of candy, right? Like if you have one little sweet tart and you enjoy it and it's great, it's awesome. Fuck yeah, sweet tarts slap, man. But if you unwrap like 100 fucking sweet tarts and you're just grabbing them by the handfuls and you're eating them, you're not enjoying them. And that's kind of how I feel about The Sadness. The Sadness is like grabbing a shit ton of sweet tarts and stuffing them down your throat until you can't taste anything because your palate is so fucked up. Like that to me is what's wrong with that film. Gore is great when you get it in little doses. And one of the best films to do that ever is the Evil Dead remake from 2013. You get like these little, like you're taking one piece of candy at a time, you're enjoying it, you're swallowing it, you're taking your time to reset your palate, and then you're grabbing another piece and going with it. That's what's so great about that movie, in my opinion. That's how you, if you're gonna go down the gory route, that's the way you gotta set it up. You can't just give me endless bouts of gore one after another. Give me it in little, like, gore. Okay, let me chill for a little bit. Let me relax, and then gore! Holy shit! This is scary. What the fuck's going on? Then let it chill. Let it vibe. Let it simmer. Okay. Oh my god! Up and down, roller coaster. That's what a horror movie is. Carter Scotland Allen with yet again another $2 super chat. Holy crap, Carter, you're killing it. Let's go. I watched The Sadness with my father. Well, at least like I feel like is this weird? But like I feel like it would be weirder to watch it with your mom. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, definitely not a movie to watch with your with your parents in general, but depending on your father's tastes in horror movies, maybe he enjoyed it. You know, I don't know. I've talked about this on stream before, but when I learned about the birds and the bees, when I learned about how to reproduce in this world, my father didn't tell me. He said, "Hey, son, come over here." And I was like, okay, hey, Dad, what's up? I was a little 10-year-old kid. He's like, we're gonna watch a movie called The Evil Dead. It's one of my favorite. This is not how my dad sounds at all, but he goes, yeah, we're going to watch The Evil Dead. I'm going to teach you a little bit about the world. And I sat down right next to him on the couch and we're watching Evil Dead and we get about 20 minutes into it. And we get to the point where that scene happens with the tree and that scene happens where the poo. It's really all I can say without getting any grosser than that. But he pauses the movie and looks at me and he's just like, and that's how babies are made. And I'm just fucking horrified. Like, what? You didn't explain anything. You didn't explain what? Oh my God, it's terrifying. So that's how I learned about the birds and the bees, about how when a mommy and a daddy love each other so much, they curl up next to each other and they naked wrestle in bed together. So there you go. That's how I learned. That's how I learned. So that's a little, I just lost like 10 viewers after telling that story. I don't care. Yeah, you were there. My very moist hair. Yes. Armando's in the chat. What's going on, Armando? Evil Dead is evil. All the Evil Dead movies are so good. I love them all. They're all great. Did you like the Fear Street movies? Yeah. No, I really enjoyed the Fear Street movies. It was like getting a season of Stranger Things, but even more gruesome. I thought it was great. I loved it. That comes from one of the Duffer brothers. One of the lady that one of the Duffer brothers is married to. I can't remember specifically which Duffer brother, but Leigh Janiak, who amazing filmmaker. I think she did a really good job directing. I believe she was co-writer on some of those movies. Maybe not all of them, but maybe she was. I can't remember offhand. But Leigh Janiak, a Cleveland gal too, born and raised right in my backyard, pretty much. Pretty awesome shit. I was rooting for her. I remember like hearing about those movies, hearing about Leigh Janiak making. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Cleveland gal making some Netflix horror movies. Let's fucking go. I was in support of those Fear Street movies. I was like, let's go. And they ended up being great. I think 94 and 78 fucking slapped. I think the ending of what was it, 1666 was great. But wow, the build up to that was unnecessary, like completely I did not need that entire storyline. I'm going to be honest. But regardless, Fear Street movies on Netflix came out last summer. They've been out for a year now. Fritz, if you're like, I have no idea what those are. They're based off of R.L. Stein's novels before he was doing all the Goosebumps stuff. He was writing like adult, something like young adult books, I guess is how I would describe them. Kind of stories like that. They're very similar to Goosebumps, but Goosebumps is definitely a lot more watered down and for kids, even though some of those stories still scare me to this day, even if they are based off of other movies. I don't care. They scared me. They were great. I loved them. Man, when I heard that music, the ba, da, 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 every single time I'd go running to the running to the TV being like, oh, Goosebumps is on. No way. The Monsterland episode of Goosebumps scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. And watching it today, it is the silliest shit ever. Like it's so silly, but I had nightmares about that shit for the longest time when I was a kid. But oh, Goosebumps, man. Fucking slaps. I'm going to have to do a video. I watched this YouTuber called Papa Meat. And he also runs the YouTube channel called Meat Canyon. His second channel is called Papa Meat. I'm actually starting to like his second channel more than his main channel because, wow, like Hunter Hancock as a human being is just awesome. Like I just love listening to him talk about fucking whatever. He's just a hilarious guy. He's great. So he did a video where he reviewed a couple episodes of Goosebumps, and I'm thinking about doing something similar to that. I'm thinking about doing like maybe this October, maybe every single day I review a different episode of the Goosebumps series or something about the books. Something. I want to do something Goosebumps related. I'm also inspired by Dr. Wolfula, who I watch a lot of. I absolutely love his channel too. Dr. Wolfula will talk about like Scooby-Doo from time to time, which is so cool. It's like he clearly has a passion for Scooby-Doo and he gets to talk about that a little bit, which I think is great. So I would love to talk about Goosebumps on my page because that's something from my childhood that I loved. I watched every single episode and all that, but it was just great. Armando, thanks for stopping by the stream. I know I just tuned in, but I have to head. That's okay. Hey, you showed up, Armando. That's what matters. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Thanks for saying hi. I appreciate you coming out. So thank you. Thank you. New to the channel, Youngboy2K19. Well, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. If you subscribed, that would be pretty cool. Or don't, whatever. If you're just like, well, fuck this guy. He's a greasy haired. His forehead is a little too big for me. Maybe 1 inch less than I'd subscribe. Whatever. But regardless, I appreciate you being here, Youngboy2K19. Thank you. Definitely do that. Have reviews on individual Goosebumps episodes. There are so many great ones. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Like every day in October, I might do one. Like just 31 episodes of that. And I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I want to do some kind of series this October because I'm gonna have a lot of time. If everything schedule-wise works out, I should be completely done with Red Right Hand by like the middle of September. So if that's the case, I'm going to have like a couple of weeks to plan that out and prepare for it. So hopefully that's the case. Probably not. Not everything's going to plan with Red Right Hand, but that's just how things go. So, Easton Plays. I was talking about this a little earlier, so I can officially talk about Dashcam finally. I saw the movie like a month ago, and I've been waiting to talk about it. I didn't love it, but I think it's pretty fun. Host it's weird. Dashcam comments on like a lot of the same shit that Host did, but in my opinion, does it in a way worse. Like social commentary, you got to do it a certain way, or it comes off as too in your face. Like, I'll be honest, like I agreed with the social commentary in Dashcam and all that. Like, what? I don't care, whatever. But it's a little too in your face. It forgets to be a horror movie in the first like the first half of it, pretty much Dashcam. But then like the second half, it really gets going. Like Dashcam should have been shorter, first of all, and it feels like a VHS skit that should have been like 30 to 60 minutes, if that makes sense. The reason I liked it so much is because of that like VHS movie feel, like the movies specifically, not like the media format. I'm talking about like like VHS, VHS2, VHS Viral, VHS 94, which I'm constantly talking about on this page. It feels like a lost skit from that, but wow, the first 30 minutes are so fucking hard to get through because of how in your face they are with some of the commentary. And it's to the point where I almost didn't even enjoy it. Yeah, Dashcam is already pretty short. If I'm remembering correctly, it's like 70 to 80 minutes, I want to say. It should have been 60. Should have been clean cut 60, just like Host was, and I would have been totally fine with it. Listen, not every movie needs to be 90 minutes. I'm going to be honest. Host was a perfect 60-minute film, and if it was any longer, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much as I did. I think that is a 4 out of 5 star movie. I fucking loved it. One of the best found footage flicks out there. But man, Dashcam is kind of the same movie, but just not as good. I'm going to be honest. That's kind of how I feel about it. I really hope Rob Savage isn't just like that's his name, right? Yeah, Rob Savage. I hope he's just not like a one-trick pony. That's kind of what it's given off to me, is that he's got like one vibe that he can do with his movies, and that's about it. I hope that's not the case. Like, listen, he's only made 2 really big movies, but so I'm hoping with this next film, he takes a different direction. I think he was kind of like, hey, Host was successful. We should do something similar to that. Totally understandable why he would go that route. But to me, it felt a little too close to his previous entry, and I was kind of hoping he'd go a little bit of a different direction with it. So with the next film, I hope he does something different. Obviously still implementing some social commentary, still going over the top with the jump scares. Listen, I know I'm kind of crapping on Dashcam, but honestly, the horror element was alive in that second half. For sure. There's a lot of things. It's not just jump scares. Just like how in Host, it's not just jump scares that are scary. There's this like psychological element to it that's like really fun to play around with. It's like your character's made an unforgivable mistake where it's like, oh, shit, we're fucked. That psychological element is present in Host, and it's also very present in Dashcam. And honestly, Dashcam kind of does it better with something specific involving a needle, which I can't talk any more about that, but it's a fear that we all have, considering when you see if you see a used needle somewhere, they play into that really well in Dashcam, and it's fucking awesome. That was one of the coolest things I liked about the film, and honestly, the jump scares and how scary it was towards the end is just as good as Host. I'll say that. But the beginning, super tough to get through. Super tough to get through. The main character is so unlikable. It's hard to watch. But regardless, good film. Check it out. I would still recommend going to the theaters to see it, because it's definitely like one of those. I'll say this: if you liked Host from 2020, same filmmaker, you'll enjoy this. I think for sure. But I definitely like Host more for sure. I'll be doing a review of it tomorrow, going a little more in depth about it, because I can't really. I got to see it early, East, and I got an early screener for it. It was fun. I was very thankful that they did that. So I kind of feel bad crapping on the movie, but like, I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Just because I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I gotta be straight up when I'm reviewing things. I don't like to be. I'm not giving this thing like an easy. I'm not being nice to this film just because I got to see it early and all that. You know, I want to be truthful, because if I was making a movie and I put it out there and I wanted people to review it, I would want them to rip it to shreds. I'd be like, please, like, if you fucking hate something, go on a rant about it and tell me why I'm wrong for making that choice for my film. I want to hear it. I expect literally everyone to do the same when Red Right Hand comes out. Like, please rip it to shreds. If you fucking hate it, tell me. Like, I want to know. But don't. Also, the other thing is, like, I will never say something sucks and leave it at that. Like, I will explain why I feel like you could have done it better in a certain way. I got so many comments on Red Right Hand that were like, wow, this fucking sucks. It's like, But why? Like, tell me. I want, like, you left me at that. You left me blue balled, not telling me about why it sucks. I'm kidding. I joke. I joke, of course. But to me, I want to know, like, what could I have done better? So definitely be doing a review of Red Right Hand. Thank you. I appreciate that. Got to go to bed or my mom or dad will, oh, my mom's going to be so mad at me. I hope that's not the case, Stu. I also hope they don't send you a copy. I hope they don't fucking send you some bees. You know, all of that shit.
I'll send you a copy.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
So, yeah. There you go. Oh, there you go. Have a nice night, Stu, regardless. So, thank you for dropping by the stream. Thank you. And Austin, to answer your question, it will be over on the Trigger Mortis YouTube channel, which is currently in my channels section of my page. Like, if you go to just KillJoy Jake home screen, you can scroll on over to, like, past the store tab. There's a channels, and you can see Trigger Mortis Productions. We just changed everything to match the movie that we have coming out. Red Right Hand, obviously. So everything's red and red and black right now. So it's pretty cool. So go subscribe, that's where the movie will be. And we'll have some, like, all the promotional stuff too for Red Right Hand will all be over there. Like, all of it everything will be on that page moving forward. So just a heads up, go subscribe if you have not. So we'll be posting, like, the trailer and the promotional work, interviews, behind the scenes shit. That's all going to be on there later this year. But I will say this, if you're supporting me at the Freddy tier right now, you get to see behind the scenes shit that literally no one else is going to be able to see. So Freddy tier supporters get to see that, and nobody else. Only for my top supporters. So that's pretty cool. We will have some behind the scenes stuff for everyone to see, but not everything. You guys won't be able to see, not all the juicy, crazy shit. So I'm saving that for the people who support me the most, I guess. So I feel like that's a pretty cool thing to do for those people. So I would love to meet the actor who played Kincaid. If you're talking about Mark Kincaid from Scream, yeah, Patrick Dempsey, yeah, I would too. That'd be awesome. I'm gonna be speaking of meeting people, I'm gonna be at Monster Mania at in New Jersey in August. So I'm really pumped for that. I'm gonna be meeting some of the people from Scream, which is fucking cool. So stop by there. I'll be walking around being all weird and greasy like how I usually am. So come say hi. That'd be great. If you're in New Jersey or going to that little thing, that'd be sweet. Come stop by. Say hey. Say hey. I'd love to meet some of you guys. Like I'm probably more excited to meet some of you guys than you would be to meet me, honestly. Like I literally met, I know I told this story earlier in the stream, but I met a dude today who was super into horror movies. It was fucking awesome. Like I was literally standing in the middle of a gas station for like 30 minutes, just going back and forth with this guy talking about Halloween Ends and the new Texas Chainsaw. So it was just awesome. Like that was so exciting for me. and of course I had to plug the YouTube channel because of course. And he was just like, oh, dude, no way. You got like 10K. That's awesome, man. Oh, he didn't sound like this at all. But for some reason, I'm talking like I'm a surfer dude from California. Oh, dude. But yeah, no, he was awesome. Cool dude. I don't think I'm going to be at Monster Mania now. I'm so sad. I wanted to meet you and talk about horror movies. Oh, man. Well, that's a shame. Listen, I promise I'm going to go to like as many horror what am I saying? I want to go to as many like horror conventions as possible moving forward. I just don't have a whole lot of time right now. And well, I'm also like broke as fuck. Movies are not easy to make, especially financially. So, that's tough right now, but next year for sure, I will be at a lot more horror conventions all over the place. So I want to just meet all these people who are fucking awesome. And I just think it would be great. So got to go to some more horror conventions. I've never been to one either. I've never been to a horror convention ever. So this will be a first for me. I'm excited. Ew, meet KillJoy Jake. Gross. What a nasty guy. Ugh. He's basically just we watched a movie, but worse. Thank you, Coop to Oof. I appreciate that. Do you think there will be a sequel for the Texas Chainsaw 2022? I wouldn't be surprised. Radley's Vlogs. Considering that movie did really well on Netflix, I really don't think that'd be too crazy to suggest. I kind of don't think it needs a sequel, but if it got one, I'd watch it. I'd be excited for it, honestly. The movie was whatever, but the fucking kills were great. Like if they want to bring that to a new sequel, hell yeah, let's go. Let's do it. That ending was so ass, though. Oh my God, the ending of that fucking sucked. But I loved the kills. The party bus scene was worth that movie, even for me, even watching that movie. I had to sit through a lot of exposition that really had no purpose. But you know what? That party bus scene was fucking worth it. Hell yeah, let's go. That was one of, like, I might do, like, at the end of the year, I might do a top 10 scenes from horror movies of 2022. I've been thinking about doing that because I want to, like, it would be an opportunity for me to talk about other movies besides just, like, because obviously, like, at the end of the year, I typically do, like, top 10 movies from the past year. I've done that, like, for 2019, 2020, 2021, and I'll definitely do it for this year. It's always typically my last video of the year, but I also want to do a little more recap stuff from the past year in this December that I will probably be implementing, like, after Christmas, you know, like after the 25th, like 26th through the 31st. I'll probably have a lot of videos like that because I want to talk, like, there's so many things that people forget about by December. Like, we'll probably forget about fucking movies like Fresh or No Exit. I'm trying to think, like, what else came out, like, really early. Texas Chainsaw 2022 even. I feel like we will forget about stuff like that, and I want to do, like, a top 10 scenes from horror movies of the past year. And I'll tell you what, the party bus scene will definitely be on that top 10 list. It's not going to be number 1, but it'll be on there somewhere for sure. So it would be a good opportunity. I guess my point is it would be a good opportunity to talk about a movie that definitely is not making my top 10 list for this year, in a way that would be like, hey, I got to bring this movie up from the past year because it was still part of this year's, like, big horror movie events. This was something that was really exciting, even though a lot of people went into it very pessimistically, which is understandable. So I want a Phantasm 6. I do too, but unfortunately, the guy that plays the tall man has since passed away. To my wait, that's right? Yeah, he passed away, which is really unfortunate because, man, he was so good in those movies. I haven't seen the 5th Phantasm film. That's the only one I haven't seen. Yeah, Angus Scrimm. Yeah, he died in 2016, which is really unfortunate. Literally the year the 5th Phantasm movie came out, which I have yet to see. It's on Tubi. I think that's on Shudder too, if I remember correctly. But I hear it's good. I like the 4 of them I've seen. I think 4 is definitely the weakest of them, but the first 3 are fantastic. Like, and I almost like Phantasm 2. I think Phantasm 2 might be my favorite, like, of all of them. I don't know if you guys have seen these movies, but they're great. I think they're super underrated. Really good stuff. Like, just fantastic. The tall man will be recast, perhaps. I hope you said it just like that, Fritz. Yeah, I mean, like, that's probably what they're going to do with Freddy. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they went that route. I love the Phantasm movies, man. I don't know if that would, like, what would they do in a new movie, though, at this point? Because it's all kind of been one consistent story without, like, spoiling anything. This is definitely a series that I feel like not everyone has seen, but is so enjoyable. It's just so fun and so campy and crazy, very stylistic too. Like, no other movie feels like the Phantasm movies, between the score, the visuals, the really trippy shit going on. It's great. I love it. Oh, do I remember Dagon? Yeah, I've seen. That's a weird fucking movie. Yeah, wow, I haven't thought about that in a long time. Stuart Gordon movie that is just strange as fuck, about fish people. It's not really my favorite. I'm gonna be honest. Some of his later stuff I just don't care for as much. But it was, like, got some really scary looking monsters that are pretty weird and very, like, B movie looking, you know, which is great. Stuart Gordon also has this movie called Castle Freak from Full Moon Pictures, which I enjoyed. I thought it was fun. Like, there was some cool stuff going on in that, but, like, it just wasn't great. Like, Stuart Gordon's early stuff is awesome, but, like, you start getting into his, like, 90s movies, and I don't like late 90s stuff specifically. I just don't love. I don't know. But from Beyond, Reanimator, Dolls is really good. I'm trying to think what else, other Stuart Gordon movies that are fantastic. And I'm talking specifically horror. Like, I'm not about to bring up some of his other stuff he's made because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen that. But do I like Tourist Trap? I watched it last week and I don't know if I like it or not. I think it has some really scary scenes, but overall, like, plot wise, it was kind of meh. But there's some, okay, if I'm correct, Tourist Trap was the one about, like, the mannequins and all that, right? Because there's a really fucking scary, they do a lot of really scary shit in that. Yeah. And Toby Hooper worked on this movie. I think, yeah, this is that movie, right? I'm not fucking crazy. Am I crazy? I might be crazy. This is not the movie I'm thinking of. Wait, maybe it is. Fuck. A group of stranded teenagers fall prey to the demented owner of a roadside museum and his army of evil mannequins. Yes. Okay, this is the movie I'm thinking of. Yeah. The monster in this looks just like Leatherface too, which I think is like really interesting. I don't know what's the deal with that. Like it's just a mannequin version of Leatherface pretty much. So but it's good. I like it. I love Tourist Trap is sick. It has this one, like, there's a few scenes where you cut to like the mannequins, and it's like sometimes it'll be people with makeup, and sometimes it'll actually be like mannequins, and they'll shake them, so like it's like they have human mannerisms, and it's just like it's kind of disturbing to watch something that isn't human, that looks like human, have these human qualities and like emotions and making sounds like a person, but it's not quite. It resembles humanity, but it's not quite. And that's something that's really scary, I think, is something that's like deformed, like deformity or something like that, where it's just, that's not the right word, but something that just looks like it's human, but it's not. Something along those lines is always scary to me. That's why I think mannequins are inherently scary things. So that's what I find really scary about the movie. But yeah, is it kind of campy? Is it kind of B-movie-ish? Yeah. Yeah, of course it is. But it's fun. It's fun little slasher flick. Oh. Would I watch a Spider-Man horror movie? Fuck yeah. I fucking love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like my favorite superhero. Like, I don't think there's a better superhero than Spider-Man. Although Dr. Bees is pretty damn close.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Okay, but seriously, there's this video on YouTube that like I'm obsessed with, and it's called Dr. Bees. Holy shit, does it fucking slap. Like, I'm gonna have to, you know what? That's gonna be my next clip that I get in here. Because I have a lot of clips that I genuinely don't know how I can use them. For example,
America, fuck yeah!
oh, Happy Memorial Day. There we go. Okay, that's where I can use that. That was yesterday. So there, America, fuck yeah, let's go. That's where I can use that. But I fucking love this video called Dr. Bees. It slaps. Oh, I'm looking it up right now. I can't remember the guy that animates this, but it's an animation from Harry Partridge, and it just cracked. Like it had me like on my knees, crying laughing the first time I saw it. Like it is just so funny. Something about it just hits. I'm gonna clip that and have it on my stream. I got to do that. It's so good, and it's kind of horror adjacent, so it's on brand. Kind of. What isn't on brand is this clip.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Like, I genuinely don't know how I'm ever gonna... I could use that for something, but it's not really horror related. Do I care? No, I don't give a shit. We're vibing. We're vibing with my clips. We're gonna vibe with whatever clips I decide to throw on here. So screw it. What the fuck is going on with all... I love me some gore. Hell yeah. Gore is great. Are you excited for Lightyear? Yeah, you know, I think it's a interesting concept for a film to basically make a movie within a movie is essentially the concept for this, which I think is cool. I'll check it out. You know, anything that Pixar makes and shit, I'm so down. Like at anything they do, I am down to watch. So that's weird that's the weird thing about me. My two big passions are like animated shit and horror films. Like those are the two things I love. I can't get enough of them. So I I'm not like super into like adult, like, yeah, adult animations sort of, you know, like, I'm not really big into Family Guy, but like, I like The Simpsons. I really like, Bob's Burgers. I fucking love Bob's Burgers. Adventure Time. What's the show that the Adventure Time people like also made? That's like got the cat bug in it. I like that. That's also really fun. I like a lot of animated shit. Like an anime. Fight me. I'm a total weeb. I love anime so much. So, welcome to prime time, bitch.
Prime time, bitch.
Just for you, Jen. Just for you. There we go. But yes. So yeah, that's like my big like thing that I typically go and watch. I have yet to see Attack on Titan the rest of season 4, but I'm regardless, I'm so excited for it. I've seen like six episodes of that, and it's been fantastic so far. So those are my two big things. I'm like on both ends of the both ends of the spectrum when it comes to entertainment. I like the most cutesiest shit ever, like Pixar movies and Studio Ghibli movies. I'm obsessed with them, absolutely love them. But then I also like Attack on Titan anime and like horror movies and all that shit. Those are my two big things. I want to start another channel where I talk about all that other shit, like Pixar movies, anime, Studio Ghibli movies. Like I'd love to do that, but like I got my hands full with this channel. So, but maybe one day when I can actually have an editor, I'll do it. I will do it for sure. My favorite anime is Attack on Titan. I think it's a perfect story so far. I don't have a single complaint about it. It's great. If you can get past the whole thing that anime does where they give you way too much fucking exposition every 5 minutes, it's a great story and it's awesome. But that's what's tough about it. But it's great. I love it. Bloody, gory, fucked up, scary. It's a horror. Like Attack on Titan's a horror movie too. Like if you're like, oh, I don't really like anime. It's not really my thing. Attack on Titan's like straight up horror. It really is. So there's a lot of animes like that too that are great. How do you think the blood pouring on the house in Nope will play out? Rodrigo, keep them coming. I'm so excited about Nope, and like it's weird. Whenever I post a Nope video, like it gets no views at the very beginning, but then like suddenly it skyrockets and people are like, oh wait, actually I am excited for Nope. I feel like people don't realize how excited they are for Nope, I think. So we got to just keep talking about it, I think. But yeah, no, I'm fucking pumped for it. I think that the blood pouring on the house is probably how we'll get the introduction to the to the aliens. I mean, so like that'll be like the first big like horror thing we probably get, is my guess. I'm so down for it. I think like maybe the aliens have to they're farming the horses for some reason is my thinking behind it, and maybe they like kill them and they just drain all the blood out of them. So it's almost like they're consuming it, and it's like it's all the blood spilling out of its mouth. It's kind of like the symbology there, something like that. And it just rains on the house. Ugh, it's gonna be messed up. I know this probably won't happen, but man, if they played Raining Blood by Slayer when all that was going on, and like you just see Keke Palmer freaking out, that would be a really cool scene, I think. So that would be very Edgar Wright-y of him to do, but I think it would be cool if they did something a little on the nose like that. Underrated horror flicks: Haunt, Hellfest, Houses That October Built 1 and 2, Hush, Urban Legends. Have you seen these? I've seen almost all of those. The only one I haven't seen is the Houses That October Built 2. So I'll be honest, I got to do a rewatch of that first one, but I didn't love it the first time I watched it. I got to watch it again. It deserves a rewatch. But Haunt, Hellfest, Urban Legends, Hush, all fucking fantastic films for sure. Haunt and Hellfest, and actually the Houses That October Built, all very similar films, like very similar concepts. Haunt's probably being my favorite though, out of all those. I fucking love Haunt. Haunt was such a surprise. Basically, if you're unfamiliar with all three of those, it's basically about like all those movies essentially boil down to a haunted house that actually has something messed up going on in one way or the other. Yeah, sure. That's a very crude way of describing all three of those films, but yeah, sure. Haunted house based horror flicks, essentially. But Haunt is easily my favorite out of the three that I've seen. But yeah, I loved it. I don't know. I won't check that one out. It's on Shudder, I believe. So if you have a Shudder account, go check that out. Hush is fantastic. It's from Mike Flanagan, who I'm sure you're familiar with after I've talked about him so much. I love all of his movies, really. I haven't seen anything from him that I disliked. I'm going to be honest. I think he's just amazing with everything. Anything he touches turns to gold. And Hush is arguably one of his best movies. So that's a great film. It's about a woman who is deaf, who is stalked by a slasher. So it's a very cat and mousey type film, but it's just done really well. Builds suspense, not suspense. That's not a word, kiddos, just so you know. Builds suspense really well. It's great. I love Hush. Urban Legend is also the first two movies are so underrated. Have yet to see the third one, but yeah, super underrated. Someone was asking me what my favorite Studio Ghibli movie was. Am I missing that? I don't know where that went, but my favorite Studio Ghibli movie has to be Probably Howl's Moving Castle. That's the one I've probably watched Spirited Away the most, but Howl's Moving Castle is the one that I just, oh God, I love that. I love that film so much. But the imagery, like here's my argument about Studio Ghibli movies. They are literally horror movies for children. Like they have some disturbing visuals, even if the plot lines are more fantastical. There's a lot of really disturbing and creepy stuff happening in all those films, and I love really just imaginative things like that. So if you guys like horror films like that, check out some Studio Ghibli movies, man. There's some weird visuals that are like really trippy and really kind of almost scary at times, especially in Spirited Away. So I love that one. I love that one. I love the scarecrow in Howl's Moving Castle. I haven't seen like all of them, but I've seen a handful of them. But I'm obsessed with the ones I have seen. Like I've seen Spirited Away a million fucking times. It's truly one of the best animated films ever made, I think. My Neighbor Totoro's great too. I love Totoro. That one's a little more like kid friendly, but the visuals are still pretty trippy. So I'm sorry. Like I'm definitely losing viewers right now, or losing people talking about Studio Ghibli movies. But fuck, those are good. Those go so hard. What horror movies are you not a fan of, but others love? So, Proper Pumpkin, I don't really love talking about movies negatively, just because I feel like you have a point in this question, that if I talk negatively about something, there's someone out there that loves, there's someone out there that loves movies like this. I personally think movies that deal with the same concept that like The Hills Have Eyes, or what's the other movie that also Wes Craven directed? The Last House on the Left. Like, those two movies deal with a certain subject that you probably know what I'm talking about, that I just don't think I like seeing in movies. I'm not a big fan of it. It's kind of it goes a little too far for me personally. So I Spit on Your Grave is another one that I feel like just goes a little too far, because I just don't like seeing that. That's a little too far for my taste personally. And I'm just not a big fan of movies like that, I guess. So they're just not really my thing. Like, I totally understand why people like them. Everyone has different taste, and that's totally fine, but not really my cup of tea, I guess, with all three of those films. I've seen them all those movies once. I'll probably never watch them again. Just not really my thing. So, but I do like some fucked up movies. You know, it's just like when it gets a little too fucked up, that's where I draw the line, I guess. Please talk about Better Watch Out. I'll talk about Better Watch Out. Hell yeah. That's got to be one of the better Christmas horror movies. Yeah, honestly, that's top 3 for me. Nothing beats Black Christmas when it comes to Christmas horror films, but Better Watch Out's up there. That's maybe 2 or 3 for Christmas horror flicks, all because of the twist. Like, the twist of that movie makes that film so much better. And it's an early twist too. It's not like it's a end of the first act kind of twist that makes you rethink literally everything about that film. Like, it sets it up a certain way where you're like, okay, typical slasher movie, yada yada. Nothing is typical after the first act. Like, you get to a certain point, beginning of the second act, and you're just like, I don't know where this movie's gonna go. And I love movies like that, where it's like it's such you started off with a simple concept, like everyone's pretty familiar. Okay, babysitter comes over, they're gonna get attacked by a slasher. I've seen this before. Oh no, you've never seen a movie like Better Watch Out. Trust me, you've never seen a movie like it. So I love that film. That's really, you know what? That's my second favorite Christmas horror film. Yeah, that's number 2. I love that. That one's a lot of fun. Since it will be a time jump and ends, do you think we will have a funeral for Tommy? Yeah, for all the people who bid it in the last 2 films. Yeah, we'll probably get something from them for sure. I think we'll probably have like a scene like that. Maybe they're just walking by their graves or something. Think about in Halloween 1978, the original, where we have that scene at the great, like all the grave sites, and they're going to Judith Meyer's grave and it's just gone. Like a scene like that, where it's like maybe Laurie's visiting there and she notices like a new grave has been taken out, and it's a sign from Michael that it's like, oh, I'm back, bitch. Like Karen's, oh shit. Hang on. What about this? You see Lori, she goes there with her new husband, maybe, Frank. I don't know. Maybe they're just dating. I don't know. What's up with that? They go there. They're going to visit some of the graves of some of the people who passed away. And they notice that Karen's gravestone is missing. It's just gone. How spooky would that be? Parallel to the original once again, but because it's similar, it adds a whole new value to a similar scene. And to me, I'm totally down to watch something like that. I think that would be really cool. That would be sick. I'd be so down for a scene like that. If they want to set it up, like if they're gonna go that stalker route where it's like this slow build to a third act that's a bloodbath, I'm literally so down for that. So show me that film and ends. I hope that's the case. I need me another Warwick Davis Leprechaun movie. I couldn't agree more. I would love another film from him with with Warwick Davis. Actually, like Leprechaun Returns is fine. It's okay. Whatever. I think the kills were all very consistent, all very creative, all very Leprechaun-y, but it's missing something without Warwick Davis, man. He's Robert Englund to Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean? With this Warwick Davis to the Leprechaun. It's just like he just plays that character so well. He does it perfectly, and it's so silly, it's so goofy, but it's so fun, man. Oh, that's what we need today. That's what we need in a new horror film, a new franchise of slasher movies. We need a new iconic silly killer. Because don't get me wrong, I'm loving all these like super serious dark movies, but I'm always down for a change of pace, no matter where we are in films. I would like for another slasher that's kind of goofy and silly to like take the mainstream by force. Like that's something we haven't seen in a long time. That was like wildly popular, like something like back from the 80s, really. I would like for something like that, honestly. I think that'd be really fun. Give me another silly slasher that has some quips, some one-liners. Sure. Why not? Make it a little dark. Sure. Like original Nightmare on Elm Street. Like that's a pretty dark, fantastical film, but it is very fantastical. You know what I mean? It has those crazier, sillier elements, but it's also a scary concept that the first movie does the best out of all of them. So give me something like that is what I say. That's why they're coming out with the Winnie the Pooh horror movie. And don't get me wrong, Spinks, I'm excited for that. That's going to be so fun. That's going to be so goofy. But I do kind of want an original slasher, like Freddy Krueger, like the Leprechaun, even Return of the Living Dead can fit into that category. Not a slasher film, but still goofier zombie movie. It's still like, honestly, as much as I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street kind of invented that subgenre of like goofy, fantastical horror films, I honestly think that Return of the Living Dead might do it the absolute best. Oh, man, I love Return of the Living Dead. That is a movie that does not get talked about enough that I absolutely fuck with. Return of the Living Dead is one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. It's so scary. It deals with zombies that are like nearly impossible to kill, yet it's so goofy and so silly. It has these really wildly, like, Return of the Living Dead is a movie that I would love to make, like something along those lines, where it's like super goofy and super silly, but also terrifying at points. Like the scene where they get the one like zombie lady who's like her spine is like whipping back and forth and shit, and she's like talking about like brains are the only thing that make the pain go away. Like, dude, that's a terrifying scene. Oh, it's horrifying, but it's also so fantastical at the same time. Like the way that the zombies all work together, they're like, send more cops. Like that's funny, you know? That's funny, but then I love how that movie can go from drastically terrifying and disturbing, immediately the next scene, it's silly, goofy, and ridiculous. Like that is the kind of movie I want to make. Pieces is another good film like that. Literally anything from Eli Roth's horror category is like that. That's the kind of movie I want to make. That's the kind of movie we need more of moving forward, I think. What else do we got here? Do you think they should make Spiral 2 or Saw 10? Saw 10 easily. Not that I don't like Spiral, but I think that was kind of an open and shut side story. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's not really more they could do with that. I would rather see a Saw X, honestly. And with what I know about the that film so far, it seems like it's going to be almost like a prequel movie that takes place like sometime before John Kramer died. That to me is a little more interesting to me. Yes, conceptually that's the same thing as Jigsaw, which I'm sure I'm about to get a comment on because the stream is a little delayed. But I would like to see the concept of Jigsaw just done a little bit better, because the whole twist of that movie is it's like, oh, it's a secret prequel. You didn't know that. Haha. Oh, this is just the same twist from Saw 2. You can do that movie better. You can do that idea a little better. That I would not be against them exploring in a Saw X, a Saw 10, whatever. Let's hope that's the case, because we've already had writer Josh Stolberg kind of tease to us a little bit like, oh, hey, guess what? John Kramer is going to be involved in this next one. What's up with that? So that would be cool. Let's see them play around a little bit with that in this next Saw film. I hope that's the case. I will absolutely try, Sphinx. I will absolutely try to do that. Let's just say I was talking a little bit earlier about I have three three outlines of entire horror movies, like literally just ready to go, that I've been writing over the past 3 years. I just actually came up with something. I was on I went out with my buddies this past weekend because my one buddy's going to Boston at the end of the he's going to Boston at the end of the week, and I'm not going to see him for a really long time. So we kind of partied all weekend. It was like our last hurrah before he's gone. So I came up with a really cool idea that I kind of want to do another outline of. I'm not going to lie, but I have like 3 ideas for movies that, like, if someone threw me like 50 grand, I could make right now. Like I could start writing the script. I would love to do. But I will absolutely try to make some more. Like after Red Right Hand is out, I'm really excited for it, but I'm also super pumped for what's to come next, because we have a lot of, me and Matt both have a lot of really cool originals ideas. So I'm excited. I'm excited to venture into that sometime in the near future, hopefully. Do you think the movie Nope will somehow have a big kill count or gore? I think surprisingly, yes. I think this seems like a more contained story, but I feel like it might have the highest body count out of any Jordan Peele flick. I mean, like, with Us, you can kind of say that, like, all of America got killed in that movie, but, like, I'm talking on-screen deaths. I'm talking on-screen visceral murder. I feel like it's going to oddly and most surprisingly have the highest body count out of any of his films. And why I say that is because the trailer is so vague to the point where we can't really judge the brutality of this next movie. So to me, that shows that Jordan Peele has something really interesting up his sleeve. This is his 3rd time promoting a film like this. Do you really think he's gonna like recess and like go backwards with his brutality, go backwards with his message implementing? No, I think the exact opposite. I feel like it's going to be even crazier this time around. Yes, is it still going to be that thoughtful popcorn horror flick that like Jordan Peele is so good at making? Oh yeah, it's totally going to be that. But I guarantee you, everybody sitting in those stands at Stephen Yeun's character's show, they are all dead. All of them are getting eviscerated by a fucking alien spaceship. I'm telling you, that is going to be a scene in this movie. I really hope it is, at least. I will say this, and I probably shouldn't be saying this because this might actually lead people to those spoilers, but there are some big spoilers about Nope out right now, and I would highly suggest avoiding those. This is a movie you want to go into blind. With any Jordan Peele flick, I want to be surprised by it. I don't want to know what happens. I've had multiple people try to send me some shit that leaked. I don't know where it leaked. Probably Reddit, because that's where shit usually leaks. But I would just avoid it. I know, like, some people are hearing this and some people are like, oh, I gotta look, dude, Nope spoilers are out. Like, the whole plot synopsis is, or like the whole like plot outline is somewhere, and I didn't read it. I'm gonna be honest. A bunch of people have tried to send it to me, and I'm like, please don't send. I don't want to see this. Like, I appreciate it. It's very thoughtful that you would think of me when you saw something like this, but I'm not the kind of guy to spoil things. I'm not. I'll talk about some rumors every now and then, but I'm not gonna talk about actual spoilers that come out for a movie. I promise I will never do that. So the whole point of this page is not to spoil, but to raise excitement for things that I'm also excited for, that I feel like maybe are a little underappreciated. So that's why I do it at the end of the day, because it's all about the passion, baby. It's all about the fun, the passion, and all that. So Hellraiser 1 and 2 make a good story. Hey, don't forget about 3, okay? 3 is such an Hellraiser 3 is such an underrated movie, man. I love 1 and 2. 2 is my favorite Hellraiser movie easily, but 3 is so fucking underrated. Oh, Hell on Earth is so fun, man. I think a lot of people don't like it because they basically just took Pinhead and they made him Freddy Krueger, which totally understandable if you don't like that change. But for what it is, it's a fun fucking movie, man. It's a really fun Hellraiser movie, especially in comparison to 4 onwards. So, but man, Hellraiser, the first 3 Hellraiser movies are so good. I cannot wait for this new David Bruckner one, man. It is going to be good. Do you think Terrifier 2 could put Art on the same level of appreciation and love as a Jason, Chucky, Michael, and others? Is he not already there, is what I say, Malik. I think Art the Clown has rightfully earned a spot amongst the other big horror icons. Like from the past 10 years, like the 2010s, let's say, I feel like there's a couple of horror icons we can pull out of that. We have the Babadook. We have Art the Clown. We have Pennywise. I'd even say Bagul is up there too, from Sinister. The lipstick demon from Insidious. Those are definitely like the Hall of Fame from the 2010s. And Art is definitely sitting on the throne of that. So I don't know, man. I think for sure he's earned that status. I think for sure he's earned that status at this point. And 2 will only be like sealing that deal for sure. Like if some people were shaky about it, 2 is going to be the for sure. Oh yeah, this is one of the coolest slasher villains ever. I fucking like, listen, Art the Clown is one of those very simple killers. Like it's nothing crazy. You know, he doesn't have like this crazy backstory or anything. He's just kind of a guy dressed up as a clown and he kills people. But it's the performance and how visceral some of his kills are in that movie. That's why he stands out to me. David Howard Thornton is amazing. Like the silent laugh, like when he's going, like that's scary, dude. That like even me just doing that was kind of terrifying to some people because it's like I'm always talking. Why is he quiet now? What? Oh my God. So I think that's something that is so scary about his character. He doesn't make any sound. Even when he gets hurt, he goes like that. That's what? You're that committed to the bit that you just got like fucking like sliced or whatever and you're still like, that is scary, man. What else do we got here? Do you think Art will die in Terrifier 3? I think they're going to make this a whole series, man. I think it's going to be more than a trilogy. Damien Leone knows that this is his this is his big thing, you know? So I feel like they're going to make a Terrifier 3. That's probably going to be successful. They'll probably make a bunch of these movies. So I hope, at least. I really hope they do. If they just make 3 movies, they'll all be happy with it, you know? But I'm excited that Terrifier 3 is already confirmed. I'll tell you what. Any update on the Stream movie? The cast alone makes it a must-see. Yeah, I'm really pumped for it. I haven't gotten so I supported them on Indiegogo. I haven't gotten any updates on it at all lately. But I hope something's coming soon. Oh shit. By the way, pins from the Kickstarter have just come in. So if you ordered one of those, we'll be sending them out sometime shortly. Here's the thing about some of the Kickstarter rewards is they have spoilers attached to them. Like if you got a VHS, obviously we can't send that to you right now. The film isn't even filmed yet. But we're working on sending all those out and getting all those. You'll definitely have them by like January, February of next year, because like I said, we can't really like what we're going to be doing basically like schedule wise. I want to film, edit, finalize the movie come September. Like September, we're going to be done with all of that. Then October through like November is working on getting all the Kickstarter rewards finalized, putting the movie on the VHS tapes for y'all, and with some behind the scenes content that is only going on the VHS tapes. So there's a lot of BTS stuff you're gonna see. But if you got a VHS tape, if you support us at that tier, you will be some of the only people to see some exclusive behind the scenes stuff only appearing on a VHS tape. So it's going to be really fun. So I'm excited for that. You probably won't get it till like January, February is my guess. Because obviously you guys can't see that until you've seen the film. So I don't want someone like uploading it from the VHS tape or some shit before it even comes out. So that's what I will say about that. So if you supported us on Kickstarter, first of all, thank you. And you'll be getting all that stuff sometime early next year. The pins we might send out sooner, depending on if you supported us at that tier and stuff. Proper Pumpkin, thanks for stopping by. It was nice chatting with you all. Well, get some sleep, Proper Pumpkin, and thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. Meows said, new Nope trailer this week. Did you see the leaks? We were talking about this earlier. Yeah, we should be getting a Nope trailer this week. I mean, we have to. The Monkey Paw Productions, they put out that a new trailer is coming soon. Keep your eyes peeled. So if we don't get something this week, considering we didn't get anything this weekend, which, by the way, would have been a great time to release it. Don't know why they didn't. Yeah, we should get something this week, considering that they just put that out. So also, Meows, please don't put anything about the leaks in the chat. Nobody wants to get, if you're someone who likes to go and look at spoilers before you see a movie, that's fine. But to me, that totally ruins the film. Like, if I learn about spoilers beforehand, all I can do is sit and imagine what it would look like. And then no matter what the film is, it's worse than whatever I saw in my head. So don't spoil anything for me. It's kind of why I feel like book to movie adaptations are shooting themselves in the foot almost 9 times out of 10. It's next to impossible to make a screen adaptation of something that like the majority of people like. I feel like it's been done before. Don't get me wrong, but it's tough. It's tough to do because everyone has an image of what it looks like in their head, and then you see that on screen, and it's just not the same as how you envisioned it. So, and yeah, I've never understood why someone would want to. I don't get it. Like, for me, it ruins the movie. Like, for me, it totally ruins the movie if I learn about spoilers beforehand. So I will never report on spoilers. I will never look at them myself because I wouldn't want to, like, that would be weird if I looked at it and then decided to make content like theory videos and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that would suck. So I don't look at spoilers ever. I try to avoid it at all costs. Do you like the Happy Death Day movies? Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. I think the second one's a little too goofy, but I love the first one. Like, I think it is a 10, like not a 10 out of 10, but it's a really good slasher flick. Definitely one of the best slashers of the 2010s. I really enjoyed it, man. I think the humor, the performance from Jessica Roth, that's her name. Yeah. I think her performance kills it for me. Like not kills it, but like just elevates it, because without that, it's kind of just a goofy slasher flick. But because of her performance, her over-the-top, super physical and silly performance, that's what makes that movie for me. It's great. It's got a good murder mystery to it. And the second film kind of just did the exact same mystery, which I thought was odd. I don't know. I thought, 2 was a bit... 2 leaned a little too much into the comedy aspect of the horror comedy shit, I guess. And I didn't like that they just basically had the exact same storyline, but in a different universe and all that, technically. It was a little too high concept for the concept. Like, does that make any sense? Way too high concept for what it was. But I still enjoyed 2. It was still fun, but first one's definitely superior. So I'll have to do a versus video on those 2. Something I want to talk about real quick is my Lighthouse versus video did really well. So thank you to everyone who watched that. That means a lot, because I'm horrified that I'm in a box where I can only talk about like certain things, but I'm starting to be able to get views on like everything, which is awesome. So that's a really good indicator for me. I'll be doing more videos on some older stuff like that now. Now I feel like I can do that. It still gets like enough views to be like, oh yeah, I can totally make this. This is cool. And people will actually watch it, and instead of it just sitting there forever and only get like 100 views, So that's cool. Thank you for watching my Lighthouse versus the Witch video, by the way. If you watched that, it means a lot. So I'll be doing some more versus videos, some more ranking videos sometime soon. I'll probably do at least one a week. Coming just moving forward, like a ranking video, a versus video, something, I'll have one ready every week, I think. Do you think a Children of the Corn remake could work if it was shot like X with the 70s look and feel? Great point there, Malik. There is one coming out this year, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's this year, but I know they had already filmed one. Children of the Corn remake. I'm curious when Children of the Corn 2020 film. This did not come out. What? Did this possessed by the spirit of a dying cornfield, an orphan decides to take revenge against the town's adults. Did I just miss this movie? I guess I just missed this movie. I thought this didn't come out yet, but interesting. I don't know. Children of the Corn, new movie. Let's look this up. Yeah, I could have sworn this was Court Wimmer, same thing. No, this is out, apparently. What? October? I swear to God, this has been in production. I thought this was coming out this year, but I guess in 2020, news reported about the film to be a remake and was announced to be shot in Australia during the pandemic, but was later revealed to be a prequel to Children of the Corn 1984. Where can I can watch this? Are y'all fucking with me right now? No way. Oh, no. New Children of the Corn prequel movie delayed. They just haven't updated that on... No, they haven't updated that. Okay, that's weird. No, there's a news article that says it's been delayed to 2022. That's what I thought, but it's just like, what? Yeah, that's weird, man. There's been no news on that, but I know it's coming out this year. Okay, so Bloody Disgusting did it. Let's read this real quick. One of the first movies to film during the early days of the pandemic in 2020, Court Wimmer's new take on Stephen King's Children of the Corn seemingly dropped off the radar completely in recent months with no release date set at this time. Yeah, it was. I remember they were talking about this movie getting pushed back because, well, of 2020. But I was just like, what is happening with this flick, man? Yeah, so there is nothing except some stills from it as of right now, which look really good, look really professionally shot. And apparently it's a prequel movie. So I'm excited for it. Honestly, it might not be good, and that's totally fine, but I'm pumped for it. I think, yes, if it was filmed in the same way as X, where it's like got that 70s feel to it, and it's kind of has like a grittier look to it, I'd be so down for that 100%. That would probably be one of the better ways to make it, I think, for sure. Gabriel from Malignant, I feel, is a really great setup for that silly horror icon you're looking for. Interesting. He's like, if they make another Malignant movie, I could see him being a horror icon just because of how conceptually different that slasher is from, and like, I can't think of another slasher flick where there's the final girl is literally attached to the slasher. That's awesome. Conceptually, Malignant was one of the coolest horror films from the past year. I need to watch it again, but it's definitely a little clunky in the second act. But I need to watch it again. It was really fun. I bought it because I'm like, this is something special. I just haven't come to fully appreciate it yet, I think. So Tracy has one more question, so we'll answer that. Who is your favorite Stranger Things character? I personally like Max and Will. Nice. Max has one of the coolest arcs this new season, but like Steve the Hare Harrington will always be number one in my heart. Just amazing. And I fucking love Nancy. Like, Nancy deserves someone good. I love Nancy. I love Nancy so much. But probably, okay, most underrated character, though, Murray. Easily. Murray Bauman is the most underrated fucking character. So good in the past 2 seasons. Oh, man. I loved him in this new season, too. He goes from being, like, comedic relief, and they set him up as being this badass, and he fucking goes nuts in that last episode, which I won't spoil anything else. I won't say anything else. That's not even a spoiler. Don't worry. But he's a freaking badass. That's all you need to know. I love him. I can't talk anymore about it, or I'm going to spoil something, and someone's going to be like, hey, I haven't had time to sit down and watch 7.5 hours of Stranger Things. So, all right, y'all. Well, it seems like everyone wants to go and nap and sleep. I'm not going to lie myself. I kind of want to put on a good horror movie, light a candle, maybe do something else and pass out. I'm going to be honest. So I will go for like another 4 minutes. We'll go to that full-on 3-hour mark. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the 3-hour mark. I'll answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to peace out myself. But this has been an awesome stream. Thank you to everyone who came out and hung out with me tonight, because it's been fun. I love just ranting at horror movies into the void that is YouTube. So it's been a great time. It's Nate, it is 11:09 for me. I don't want to keep anyone up any later than what we're at. So if you are looking for a good stream, though, I believe at 11:30, I don't know whose channel is hosting it, but they're doing like a horror movie watch party tonight. I can't remember if it's on like Jack Stannis's channel or who's doing it, but someone's doing it. Someone's doing it tonight. I can't remember. Maybe it was. Oh, I think it's Night actually. Night Watch Zone, but I'm gonna look it up real quick just to promote this for them, because I knew I wanted to wrap up before then. just so I didn't do that. So scheduled for today at 11:30. Yeah, so it's going to be on the Night Watch Zones channel. Oh no, he's just doing a straight up live stream at 11:30 tonight. So go check that. Go switch over to that if you're still here and you're like, hey, I want to that's funny. No, if you're like, hey, I still want to watch some horror content. There you go. Go check out Night Stream at 11:30. So Night Watch Zone, go over there. Go check that out. Go check them out. Yeah, so do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. We're gonna go for another 2 minutes. Any other horror questions? Just throw them my way. Throw them my way, and we'll talk about it. Oh, Scoob Pex just joined. Scoob Pex, we're just wrapping up, man. I'm sorry. Regardless, I appreciate it. Oh no, this is the same stream, Carrie, but we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up because Night is going live at 11:30, like I said. So go check that out if you haven't been there. But Carrie, thanks for stopping by again. I appreciate it. We've been going, we've been vibing. It's been awesome. So great stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Have you seen the Suicide Squad? Yes, the new one was fantastic. The 2016 one is a big old poop. Not a fan, but I loved the new one. The James Gunn one fucking slapped. Oh, maybe the best horror movie of last year. Or, I mean, best superhero movie of last year. Are you excited for the Welcome to Derry TV show? Yes. Yeah, I hope it turns out great, too. I should do another video on that. No, there's not really any news, but I have some theories about where they could go storyline with it, because they have a lot of freedoms. They don't have to base it off of the book really too much, like plot line wise. Like, they can use some elements from it, but they don't have to stay too true to anything like how they did in It Chapter 2, which honestly is why I feel like that movie wasn't as good as the first one. You should have taken a little more liberties with It Chapter 2, I think. Made it a little different, because the whole plot line with the bully goes fucking nowhere. Like, that is the most unnecessary thing in the book. Like, I'm talking about the book. I'm not even talking about the movies. They followed it from the books, and it goes nowhere. It's set up for like something that is almost a kill. And that's it. Like, maybe if it was a kill, cool, okay, but no. Do something different is what I say. I'm sorry, Easton. Listen, I'm doing another stream tomorrow. So if you guys are like, oh man, I want some more KillJoy Jake streams, I'm going to do another stream tomorrow night, probably around the same time, maybe like 8 o'clock, maybe even earlier than that. So if you guys want to come stop by, say, hey, be like, yo, what's going on, Jake? I might actually do maybe 8 o'clock. Yeah, I got to do a couple videos tomorrow because I want to do that Dashcam review, and I also want to do that Stranger Things review. And I also have a Scream 6 video I want to make. So, if I'm going to do 3 videos, I might as well do a live stream later in the day. So, 8 o'clock tomorrow, another live stream if you're hankering for some more things. And the last thing I'll be answering is Ghostface has a movie request. Ghostface, if you put that in there in the next 30 seconds, I will check it out. And Carrie, no, but I got to see it early. I got to see it about a month ago, and I'll be putting out a Dashcam review for tomorrow. It's going to be, should I do non-spoilery or should I do spoiler? I don't know. Maybe I do both. Maybe I do like a non-spoiler to start off with and then move into spoilers for people who don't care about spoilers. But I don't know. I think that's probably how I'll set it up. But yeah, I'll have a review of that tomorrow. I was very fortunate to see it early. So the people were like, hey, check this out. So here's a little screener for it. And I'm just like, oh, shit. Hey, thanks. I said something really positive about Rob Savage on Instagram, and I think. And Critical Overlord, who, shout out to him, who's awesome, also helps me out find the email for getting the screener. So Rob Savage actually went back and forth with me on Instagram, which I thought was really fucking cool. I was geeking out about that. I told him I was really excited for Dashcam. He's like, oh, thanks, man. I'm just like, oh my God. He said thanks to me? That's so cool. So, some good shit. But yeah, okay. The movie is Terror. Oh, I fucking loved. Yeah, Terror Train's fantastic with David Copperfield, right? Yeah. That movie's fucking crazy. Yeah, no, that's badass. I'll have to talk about that sometime in the future. Well, thank you again for everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it. Much love, hugs and kisses to all. You're all the best. Thank you guys for stopping by the stream. Thanks for hanging out with me too. I just appreciate that. And as always, of course, don't forget to kill it out there and go watch the Night Watch Zone stream. That's it. Peace out, everybody. Much love, hugs and kisses. Peace.